All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, as you can see on the screen here guys, it's time to check out some more Red Yellow Sabo action. So if you are new to the channel, just know that this is my main leader, Red Yellow Sabo. This is the leader that I main in the One Piece TCG. So I try to cover this about once a week, okay? And whenever we cover this leader on the channel, we do a deep dive, a comprehensive update style guide video, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We've got about 15 games lined up, okay, about 15 games of Red Yellow Sabo lined up for today's video, and we're going to be running a single list for a multitude of reasons, so hear me out. We're going to be running one specific list. It is going to be a Revo Army style list, a pure Revo Army. I know a lot of people are getting upset right now. There's a lot of control players out there that run Red Yellow Sabo. That's going to be for another video. Calm down. Hear me out real quick. OP09 is right around the corner for us over here in the West at the time we're recording this video. The version I'm going to be showing off today is best suited for new players and new players trying to get into Red Yellow Sabo in particular. Because the list we're going to be checking out today is going to be an OP09 list, where it's running an entire package of Revo Army, which is nice for a few reasons for them as well. Number one, I think it is the most straightforward, basic, powerful package of Red Yellow Sabo that you can run. I think it has the highest floor. Maybe not the highest ceiling when it comes to skill and potential. I don't know if it necessarily has the highest ceiling or anything like that, but the base power level at the floor, at the foundational level, like something a new player would be interested in, this is probably the best version of Red Yellow Sabo at that level. On top of that, it is probably going to be the cheapest version by far, okay? Most Red Yellow Sabo deck lists are actually very cheap as is, unless they're running Rayleigh right now, which a few lists are running 1 or 2 Rayleighs, but that can be very easily subbed out. That's not a necessary inclusion for Red Yellow Sabo, but it is a nice addition to the deck. However, this version we're going to be looking at today is just pure Revo Army. So not only is it going to have a very, not only is it a very good entry point for a new player to get into Red Yellow Sabo with, but it's also, excuse me, it's also going to probably be the easily cheapest version out there. But not that that's all that should matter, but it is another selling point for someone who might be thinking about getting into this deck. And if they come across this idea of like, well, how expensive is the deck? Oh, wow, it's actually really cheap. So it gives them another reason to hop into it. Anyway, don't worry, though. Like I said, the version we're going over today is going to be a very tempo-based, mid-range level deck for OP09 Red Yellow Sabo. In the future, we will be going over the control version because I have something in mind for that as well, for the more skill-based players, the more veteran players of Red Yellow Sabo. But today's version, very hyper-focused on Red Yellow Sabo, Revo Army version, mid-range tempo version, whatever you want to call it. All right, now that's enough yapping. Let's get into these games. Let's get into the video. I'll have everything time-stamped down in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links down in the comment section below, okay? All right, let's do this, guys. Let's get into it. So first things first, let's move this out of the way. We got a game here of Purple, Black, King. Okay, Red Yellow Sabo versus Purple Black King. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go, guys. I'll try not to pause too much unless I think it's something very very important, because we do have 15 games to go over, so I'll try to be sparing in that regard. Now, the King player goes first and we go second as Sabo. I think, okay, I will pause already, even after saying that. Generally speaking, we do want to go first as Red Yellow Sabo. It lets us put the pressure on. It lets us hit our natural curve of 1-3-5, which is Bello Betty into any 3 cost in the deck, which is Karasu, Morley, and Bello Betty, the 3 cost. And then we go straight into the 5 cost of Emporio Ivankov, and then potentially even to the new 7 cost, Sabo. So as far as like the odd curve goes, it is very attractive for Red Yellow Sabo. And that is also true in the control version, which we're not going over today. However, the Purple Black King player went first. They won the dice roll. They got to choose to go first, unless I was trying. I'm pretty sure I have it blotted out, guys. Like, this is not an overlay you're seeing. I recorded in this overlay, so I'm not exactly sure who chose to go first or second. Whatever the case is, King ended up going first when I think it would have been better. I think we would rather go first most of the time. However, King probably wants to go first as well because they get the chance to drop their stage right on turn 2. Now, they went with a queen. We went with double Bello Betty. And then for our 4 Dawn turn, we actually don't have a lot, so let's see how we choose to deal with that. 3 Dawn turn for the King now. They're going to play out a Sasaki. I believe that has like Dawn times 1 when attacking, trash a card to either ramp a Dawn or cause us to trash a card. I can't remember exactly. Okay, they swing in for 5, and we just take it, guys. We just take it. That was very aggressive. So, one more pause before we... Don't worry, once we get going, guys, we won't be pausing as much. One thing about this version of the deck is we do want to take life somewhat aggressively. Not super aggressively, not depending on the deck, right? If it's an aggro deck, don't take it aggressively. But we do want to take life semi-aggressively because the new triggers coming out in OP09 for Revo Army, those triggers require us to be at 5 or less life. And when I say us, literally I mean you, the player playing Sabo, and your opponent. So altogether, right now, me and this purple black king player, excuse me, me and this king player are at 7 life altogether. We need to get down to 5 or less life to start getting these new triggers, like the Kuma that I have in my hand. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this. Let's dive deeper into this game, see what happens. That was a very nice top deck Karasu. Otherwise, we did have a chance to just swing very aggressively with Bello Betty and with the leader, Bello Betty, the character. Okay, they counter out of that, and they're down to 2 cards in hand. They get the stage out a little bit late, but not too bad. And they're going to swing for 6. They're going to trash a card, and they're going to... again, I don't remember. What does that card do? Did it ramp for them? I'm sorry, guys. We do have to go back. So they attacked, trashed a card. It ramped a Dawn for them rested. Okay, so that is what that Sasaki does. We give them a 2k counter here. They swing for 5. We give them another 1k counter. I don't want to go too low too early. I want to get a little bit of board presence before I do that. Okay, so here we go. Like I said, we do want to go down in life, but not too aggressively. Not like ridiculously fast or anything like that. Gonna go 6 into 4, and then guess what? Swing for 5. I'm not even holding back at all. I'm not holding back anything. I'm saying, nope. You're running any deck that runs some version of black in it, whether it be purple black, black green, black blue. I don't care what it's running, black yellow. It will probably have removal. So I would not be concerned with keeping your characters, you know, back like that. Now, okay, pause real quick. In all fairness, I probably didn't have to attack there because notice they had no removal. But most black decks do run removal, so I didn't want to risk losing my Karasu without getting any extra value from it. And it turns out I did get punished in that situation because they did not have removal. Okay, so here we go. We are now on an 8 Dawn turn, and honestly, I'm going to play out Koala here. Watch what this does. It lets me take a card from my life, okay, and then play out a 4 cost or lower, or a 5,000 power or lower Revo Army character from my hand into play, and then I draw a card. So I do lose a life, but I get to cheat out 2 bodies. Well, play out 1 body, cheat out the other, and draw a card in the process. So a very, very powerful card, but it's not super intuitive to run. I will say that. Okay, so we play out the Lindbergh there. Seems good. We're going to drop this guy down. We're just going to pop the Katakuri with a Fire Fist. We're going to swing for 5. Let's see if they want to give me the blocker here. They might choose to block. Seems good. We'll go 6 into the blocker now. I'm trying to punish them a little bit. Then we'll swing 5 to life. This should go through. Now, me and my opponent are at 5 or less life. So whenever we get a trigger, that's coming directly into play now. Very, very relevant. Okay, they play out another Eustace Kid. I do have a 2k and a 1k in hand. And I do have a 6,000 power blocker. Okay, 7. We're going to 2k counter. He's going to swing for 7 more. Let's see where he goes with it. He's going to swing for 7 into 5. Okay, we'll let that go. And now, I have a 10 Dawn turn. I'm going to be able to deal with whatever I need to here. I'm going to swing 7 at face, popping their little 1-cost searcher. They take it, play out the dragon. I'm going to swing for 7 more at life. And guys, you see where this is going? This is ugly. This is a tempo style deck. We're going to go 9 into 6. Beautiful. We'll swing for 8. Let's see if they want to give me the other blocker. They choose not to. But what are they supposed to do in this situation? They play out an X-Drake. Okay, you can have this non-counter card from my hand. And they're back up to 6 from the Useless Kids effect. They make me trash another card. Here's another non-counter. And they're going to return 2 to draw a card with their leader effect. And with 1 Dawn, swing for 6. Well, why not just take it, trash a card, now we get an extra attacker. The game's over, right? So there's basically, pause, they go ahead and leave anyway. There's basically nothing they can do at this point. Because I'm going to swing, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets that are going to swing. Bare minimum 7 each. This guy has 4 cards in hand, 1 blocker, 1 life. It's just not happening, right? And look at his hand. He would only be able to get out of 1 7K attack. So he gets out of 1 7K, he blocks the other, takes the other, and then the final one would go through, and then I'd still have a backup 9K from Dragon. And that would be after only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Dawn. I'd still have 4 Dawn left to swing with if I needed. Okay, next game. So that was against Purple Black King. Now we got a game against Purple Luffy. We've got some meta matchups on here. We have some not so meta matchups. We have some fast games, some short games. We're going to be all over the place in today's video. They play out the Searcher. I'm going to pop it right away with the Kuma to keep my hand size down. I can choose to take this, which I think I should just counter out with, countering out with, because you only need 1 Lindbergh per game, realistically. We're going to swing for 5. They counter out. We're going to play out Lindbergh. They did ramp a Dawn last turn. So that's why they're down to 4 life. Because they countered out of that attack. They're going to swing in for 6. I don't have a 2K counter, so I'm going to take it. They play out Sangoro. And here we go. Going to play out the Koala. Going to take a card from life. Cheating out the Karasu. We're going to swing for 5. We're going to swing for 4. Or swing for 5. Swing for 5 into 4. Swing for 5 more into 4. He's going to go 6 into 5. I think we're going to block and get a 1K out of this, maybe. Looks like that's what I was planning on. Nope, just let it go. I like that idea even better. We don't need the Lindbergh, right? We don't really need the Lindbergh because I don't even have any power reduction in my hand to begin with to help it. It's like I'd rather keep my koalas safe on the board. They play out an Onami. Now I'm wishing I had saved the Lindbergh, but at the same time, there's 2 Onamis. Seems good. Not too big of a deal. I'm on my 7 Dawn turn now. Let's see what happens. Gonna play out, or she's on 8 Dawn turn. Play out the Emporio Ivankov, cheating out a Karasu blocker. Guys, that new blocker is so nice. It's so useful. Okay, we're going to swing 7 into 5 here, dropping his power. Seems good. We'll swing for it more. Okay, but I don't think I'm done yet. I don't think I'm actually done. We're going to swing 8 into 5 there, and he does use both blockers. The purple Luffy uses, excuse me, uses both blockers. So now the question is, what do you want to do? Do you want to swing 8 into my Koala? Or do you want to swing into my face and give me the Karasu back? And I have a blocker if things get super crazy here. 8 into 9. Okay. 8 into 9. We'll just give him the blocker. He only has 7 Dawn left. He plays out the 7 cost Luffy Taro. That's a good follow-up play. Playing out the Zoro. Doing a top 5 search for a purple Straw Hat card. And here we go. He does pop my Kuma with his Kamazo. The Hitakiri Kamazo card, whenever you return a Dawn, can pop. I think it's like a 2 cost or lower character. Okay, so -1 to this guy, to the Sangoro with my Karasu. We'll swing 7 into 5. He's not going to save that. I don't blame him. We'll play out the Bello Betty here to do a search, see what we can get. Or actually, we might choose. All right, we're swinging all out here, getting a lot of counters out of hand. We might play out the 3 cost blocker. I like that better, because I feel pretty safe here. Even though he has a lot of potential attacks here, I don't think he's going to try to go for lethal because I have 2 blockers if I need them. 6 into that, we're going to counter. Wait, so what just happened? I'm sorry, did I miss something? Hang on 1 second, guys. So we play that out. Oh, I never gave the Koala plus 2,000 because I didn't push a card back to life. Never mind. I got a little bit confused there. So 8 into the 6, we let that one go. 6 into 6, we counter. 7 into 6, we double 1K counter. We keep our board healthy here. And now we're in a very tough position. We're actually in a very, very tough position here, guys. What are we going to do? We have a Fire Fist play we can do. We have quite a few plays we can do. Let me say that. We have quite a few plays. But I think the main one's going to be with Dragon here. We'll double up 2 Dawn on this guy. We'll swing 7. Let's see how we want to do this. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. -4 to that guy. We couldn't pop anything because nothing was 0. We'll smash in there. -1 there. 9 into 5. They give me a counter. We're going to 5 more into 5. Does not give me the blocker. Very smart. 6 into 5. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to get every card from his hand, guys. Because he only has 4 attacks, and I do have a blocker. Uh-oh. He rests my guy down. Let's see how this goes. Now, right here, he should try to go for lethal, in my personal opinion. He goes for the board. Not the right play, because he had lethal. He does not know it, but he had lethal, unless I had, like, a really good trigger coming. And I guess the smart call there would have been to not risk losing the, losing the game from a trigger. Because I could have a Karasu in there, guys. I could have a Fire Fist or something. You never know. Okay, so it looks like right here we're going to be able to swing for 9 at whatever we want to, and it's going to be gone. Let's see what else we got. We're going to be able to probably play out the Koala. It looks like I was going to play out the Koala, guys. We will do this. We'll go 8 into 6. That should get rid of that. Oh, counters out aggressively. Very nice. Now I can swing whatever I want to, and it'll go through. Very good. We'll go 6 into 6 here. It's gone. We'll play out the Koala, which is a blocker. We'll draw the top card. We'll play out this Morley. I kept the Karasu in hand, so that we have a 1k counter in hand. That was the entire idea behind that. All right. Are we on 2x speed, guys? We are. Okay. 10 into 8. I can give him a 2k, 1k, and now he can't really go into it again. Sorry, guys. Got to move my chair. I had to scooch my chair back. Okay, he's going to go 8 into it. I let it go. And now he had... So... The game of One Piece is all about finding your opportunity and then capitalizing on it. And that doesn't mean it's easy. Okay, that was nice, guys. Getting all that tempo there. Playing out Ivankov into Bella Betty. Gets me another Ivankov. And this is an absolute wrap for this. Now it's pretty much over. I don't know if there's anything he can do at this point. I'm at 3 life. If he attacks it, I'm going to get the life into play. You know, and I have extra attackers then. This is a really tough spot to be in. He doesn't even attack. I had an 8,000 power blocker as well. Okay, so right here. I think he wants me to attack to give him some cards in hand. But we're going to go back in a second with this game here. So y'all bear with me in for just a second here. Because there's an opportunity that comes up that you have to take advantage of, or you're not. It's not going to go well for you. Okay, push this card back. We'll go plus 2,000 to the blocker. I've got a 9k body on the board. I've got an 8k body on the board. I have 4 life. I have 2 cards in hand. I'm feeling pretty good now. One Piece. Pause. The purple Luffy player had 1 opportunity in this game to win, and he lost it. He missed it. And it was right around here. It was right here. So pause right here. This right here. So they had 9 Dawn for the turn. They play out Sanji. They get the Dawn back with Eustace Kid. And in this situation here, this was their opportunity to try to go for a game. And it probably would have worked. Let's just do the math on it. They could have swung for, let's see, 6, 3 6s, and then 2 7s. I only have 2 life. I don't have a blocker now. They rest my blocker with their Sanji. I only have 2 life, and I can only get out of 1 attack. So 3 attacks are gone. Only 2 more of those attacks that he had would have... Either of those last 2 attacks could go through. And let's see what I had for my life at the end. I did have a Fire Fist. In all fairness, I did have a Fire Fist, so that would have gotten rid of 1 attack. But then the last attack was a Morley. So, excuse me. My last card in hand would have been a Morley. And so the question would have been like, okay, he would have had to make a decision there, right? He would have had to make a decision. Do I want to risk going for game, swinging for 7 with my blocker? And then if I'm fully tapped out, he can just beat me on the ground. Because look at my board, guys. If he doesn't beat me in this turn, then it's over. Because my board's just too crazy. I could either eat his entire board and gain life, or just actually probably just go for lethal. So he had to make a very serious decision there to go for life or go for the board. He chose the safer route, but sometimes the safer route is not always the route that's going to win you the game. I'm just saying. They had an opportunity right here to win the game against me and to go for life. It still might not have worked because, like I said, he probably would have chose not to swing with the blocker because it would have only been a 7k attack, and I would have had bare minimum 2 cards in my hand. Because remember, guys, one of my attacks was a Fire Fist. So right here, like let's say he chose to go for life. he had 3 6K attacks, right? I would counter out of, actually, I would take the first 6K hit, and it would hit a Fire Fist, and I would drop the power of a Sanji down to 3, right? Where that card's not swinging anymore. Then at that point right there, he probably would choose to go for the board because he'd only have 2 attacks left and a blocker, so potentially 3 attacks. And at that point, I think it becomes too scary for him to go for lethal. I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. There's definitely an argument to just go for lethal because the longer this game goes on, the more value that I get from gaining life with my leader effect. And one more thing I want to say as well is this was greedy of me to attack in with the koala. I should have just sat back on koala, and then there wouldn't have been a need for that discussion. So right here, I attach the 2. I swing for 7. I'm trying to do a little bit of math right here. I do a Fire Fist. Boom, minus that there. Then we go 7 into 4, minus 1,000 to the Zoro. And then I swing 9 into Zoro. He gives me a blocker. Swing 5 into 5. Gives me a 1K. Swing 6 into 5. Gives me a 2K. Now, right here was too greedy. I shouldn't have swung at all. And then I don't think we even have this conversation anymore where I'm worried about him going for lethal, you know, with the Sanji. Okay, now, anyway, next game. That's the whole idea behind these videos, right, guys? We got to break these down and really try to analyze if there were some other angles we could attack the game from. Okay, we have a game here versus Red Sanji. And again, every single time I'm running the exact same Revo Army deck list, and I'll show you guys that at the end of the video. So I play out a Bello Betty. I grab a 2K counter because I only had one 2K counter, and Sanji's a pretty aggressive. Is that what I grabbed? Let me. I don't remember. Okay. Yep. It looks. Oh no. It looks like we grabbed a koala or the blocker. I was gonna say it was either gonna be the koala or the Crossu as a blocker because I already had two 2K counters in hand. A blocker would have just been icing on the cake there, and we got that. So that's pretty good. The best possible situation there would have been a 5-cost Ivankov. Okay. So right here we're gonna swing for 5. And then we're just going to drop a Morley on him and say, your turn. Okay, just waiting on him. We do have the speed on 2x, guys. Sometimes it takes people a while to figure out what they want to do. The key to playing this deck correctly, in my opinion, is just go wide. Go super, super wide. And the wider you go, the easier it is for you to gain life as well. Because they probably won't be able to take out all your characters at one time. So you can just push characters into your life. And a lot of the characters in this deck have triggers. Like the Morley, like the Crossu in my hand, like the Lindbergh. So when you push them into life, you're actually just saving them and canceling an attack. So it ends up being very nice. Okay, 2 into 2 here. Let's see if he wants to save this. It'd be crazy if he did. I just swung 5 into it, my leader, if I had to. Now, in this situation, we're going to go 5 at life. And I don't know if we're actually going to swing with Morley here. I don't remember. But I could see myself swinging with Morley, playing out Bello Betty, playing out a Lindbergh. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. I think in this situation we grab the Rusher. I like grabbing the Dragon here. Very nice. Then we can play out a Lindbergh. So now whatever he plays next turn, we have a Koala and a Galaxy Wing. So no matter what he plays next turn, we should be able to deal with it. 6 on turn for Sanji. This is usually when they drop down something like a Pell or something. It depends on the list they're running. I don't know what list this guy's running. 5 into 2, he can have that. Plays out a Zoro. Okay, sure. 6 into face here. I think I should give him... I took it, but I think I should have given a 2K counter. That was a little bit greedy in my opinion. Okay, see? Punished. Got absolutely punished there. I consider playing out the Kuma, but it would not KO anything. Yep, and I do. I do end up playing that out because now I can swing into the Sanji if needed. Okay. So here we go. Just like I said, I'm just trying to fill up the board here. We'll go 5 into 3. He should let that go. That would have been wild if he didn't. We're gonna play out the Crossu. We're gonna play out Galaxy Wing to buff the Lindbergh +2, -1 to the Zoro. 7 at face, popping the Zoro. And now we have 2 Dawn left for the turn. And watch this, guys. We'll attach 2 Dawn to the leader. We're gonna push the Crossu back. We're gonna get +2,000 to the Morley to give him some protection on next turn. And we're going 7 in. He just gave me 3 1K counters, guys. 3 1K counters for that 7. He's down to 2 life. I'm down to 2 life. I have 5 cards in hand. They have 6 cards. And I have a full board. That's the major difference. Sanji is definitely all about finesse because you're going to have to try to find a way to sneak lethal in with this kind of character while also kind of messing with the board. I don't know. Maybe there's another version we need to figure out how to play with this character, this leader. 8 into 5. We're going to go 2K, 2K to get out of it. And now he can't even swing into my Morley. I think he should have fully committed. I guess he's threatening a Rad Beam. 5 into 5 here. We'll take it. We'll push out our Lindbergh, dropping the Sabo from hand. And guys, this is not... So believe it or not, guys, this is not the situation you want to be in as a Sanji player. We're going to go 7 into face here. It's about to be all gas, no brakes right here. Because I'm going to be able to pop that Frankie with the Lindbergh. He gives me a 2K, 1K. Push that guy back. 7 more into 5, popping that. Okay. He takes it. So I'm going to swing for 7 more into face. He's got 1 Dawn active. He takes it. I'm like, wait, what? I swing 7 more into face, and I was just going to fall back on a and then so pause. I was going to just fall back on a Karasu there and just play safe, but he literally just didn't have enough counter. Some people might have said, like, why not just swing all in for 10 there? He might have had a Rad Beam and a 2K counter. Didn't want to risk it, even though he was definitely telegraphing that he was low on 2K counter. Or counter at all. So, anyway, we went for it anyway. We went for the safer route there where I felt like there was no way we could lose. Because I would have had 2 life and a blocker. So, even if he swings 3 times with the 3 characters he has in his hand, he could choose to swing 7, 7, 7 or something like that. Okay, I'll take both and block the final one. Or I'll block 1 and take the rest. Like, there's just pretty much no way out of it. Okay. Next up, we got a game versus Shanks. Like I said, guys, some of these games are more meta than others. I just tried to get as many games as possible, showing off this new deck list. It feels very, very strong. Okay, speed is on 2x, volume is off, and here we go. Expect to see a lot of Shanks, I think, in the near future, guys, if you're over here in the West. Turn this fan on real quick. Get this fan going. Hopefully it's not too loud where it picks up on the microphone. Okay, so they're going to play out an Uda. We're just going to say, get that thing out of here. We pop it with the Kuma. And now it is their turn. They play out another Uda. They say, okay, well, I really liked having Uda on the board, so they play out another one. We take that. We get a Fire Fist. Not super important right now. We're going to play this out. We don't even swing because their leader attack can just do minus 1,000. It's just saving time at this point. There's no. I mean, technically, you could scare them by swinging 5 first and then 6 with the Kuma. But, oh well, we played in that way. So I will say that. Pause real quick. There was definitely an argument to swing for 5 first with Sabo with 4 Dawn active. And then they might choose to just 1K counter out of that because we could then attach 4 Dawn to Kuma to swing for 6. And that would cost a 2K or a 1K plus leader effect or something like that. But we did a little bit out of order, and that was a slight missequencing for sure. Okay, so we're going to swing 7 into face here. We're going to pop that card because of the Fire Fist and the Lindbergh effect. They 2K counter out. They did minus 1,000 to my leader. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, that's a little bit odd. So we're going to go ahead and swing for 6 into 6 here because of the Yasop's effect. They give me a counter. I'm going to push that card back to life. And here we go. I've got 3 Ivankovs in hand. And let me tell you guys right now, that Ivankov card is nice. It is nice. He's scared to attack into me a little bit, but okay, he decides to. I'm going to trash an Ivankov from my hand because I have 2 more. Right here, we've got a Galaxy Wink and a Koala. Let's see what we choose to do. I'm doing a little bit of math right now, seeing if I could take out the Yasop while doing this. I get the Karasu, which does -1 to that card, but I don't think it really matters. If I'm trying to get rid of it, I don't think I can get rid of it this turn. I give -1 to the leader. Okay, I can get rid of this turn. Actually, just kidding. So, Galaxy Wink, minus that there. Swing 7 in, and that guy's out of here. So, he had minus 4,000. He was only a 2,000 power character. Smash it for 7. They finally take a damage. And I was not able to swing with my leader because I didn't have enough power. And now they're finally going to be able to get one of my cards here, unfortunately. Speaking of unfortunately, very, very annoying card right there with Lucky Roo. We're going to swing for 7, reduce the power by 4. He should just block this. Yep, KO. Let's see what he KOs here. Okay. I would have KO'd the Karasu. I know that seems like the way to do it, what he just did there, but now I get to save the Karasu. So at this point, it's going to be swing for 5 into 4. Is he going to give me the blocker? Let's see what he's going to do here. I was able to really punish him there for not giving me the, or for not KOing the Karasu. Okay, so we get rid of both of those. He gets rid of my Koala, sure. We do a top 3 search with Emporio Ivankov, cheating out a Karasu. Lindbergh probably would have been a little more aggressive there. I probably should have gone with Lindbergh, to be honest. Okay, 5 into 5. We're going to take it. 12 into 5. I'm at 3 life, so I'm not too scared to take it at this point. Okay. So right here he taps out because he made a very big mistake. What mistake did he make? I am just going to load everything on Ivankov, and that card is going to get KO'd, and I'm going to say your turn. So that was the mistake that he made, quote-unquote. It wasn't like a big mistake or anything. It was just like, your card's going to be gone. We're getting that out of here. And then I still have a blocker. So I'd still be able to swing for 5 with my leader first. In fact, I could probably swing for 6 with my leader first. And then swing for 15 still with the Imperial Ivankov into the Shanks. He does not have any counter power in hand. The card's gone. I push that card back to my life if I need to. And I give plus 2,000 to the Crossu. He'd be a 6,000 power blocker. They lose the Shanks. I'm going up in life. And now we're just kind of creating this vicious cycle of just constantly, you know, whatever character he swings with right away like that, I'm going to get rid of it. And if he spends a turn trying to set up, I have blockers. And then I have all these other options in my hand as well. I think he saw the writing on the wall there. He definitely left a little early. I will say that. But once I start cycling those Imperial Ivankovs, excuse me, it's a bad situation. Next up, we got a game versus Katakuri. Speed 2x, volume is off, and here we go, guys. Katakuri is pretty much this deck's worst nightmare, but I will say this, the version that has the best, at least from my experience, the deck that has the most win rate, the highest win rate against Katakuri is the Revo version, the Revo Army version, and the Goa version. And then finally the Control version just seems like it just can't beat the deck. It's possible, it's just very hard. They swing for 7 there. We're going to go ahead and take it. We'll swing for 5. Let's see what they choose to do. Probably give me a counter here. No reason to take this, but they might choose to get greedy. Or maybe they have no counter in hand. They give me a blocker. That's actually very strange to me. So we play out Imperial Ivankov, get a Morley on the board, and now we're just filling the board up, guys. This is what is so nice about this version of the deck. It has a very strong tempo to it. Okay, swing for 7. We're going to take this. We get a Karasu. We're 1 life away from being able to cheat that out. Swing for 6. We give him a 2K. He has 4 Dawn. Plays out Kikinojo. Seems good. Okay. Now what are we going to do? What are we going to do, guys? We have a lot of options here. This is a tough spot to be in, though. We're going to play out a Koala, I think. We're going to swing 5 into 5. Let's see if he gives me anything. Just waiting on our opponent here. This is a tough call. I would save it, personally. Like, if I was the Katakuri, I would definitely save it. Okay. We do that. We're going to pull the bottom card out of our life. We're going to cheat a card into play. It's going to be the Imperial Ivankov. We are now going to buff the Imperial Ivankov with Galaxy Wink, reducing the power of the Paraspero. We're going to swing 5 into 4. We're going to swing 6 into 4. We got 2 cards out of his hand there. He gets rid of it. He does a top 5 search. Now we're going to cheat out a Karasu, I believe, with the Imperial Ivankov. So we have 1 life, 2 blockers. We're actually in a very, very good position. And they're only on 8 Dawn. They don't get to play out Tinlin this turn. And our board is completely full. And look at our hand, guys. 2, 4, 6, 7K in counter. And 2 blockers on the field. Okay. Let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to play out a Charlotte Linlin, which was very smart, because if they had attacked first, I would have taken it, because I was anticipating the Charlotte Linlin. We'll 2K counter out. Okay. We did not play the Crossu, actually. What am I talking about? We played out the Morley. Did I miss something there? I don't know what it is, guys. That was like a... I don't know what it was. I just missed out on that completely. Okay, but guys, we have a very intimidating board right now. So we're just going to push that card back, probably. Actually, we got to do this in the correct order. We'll swing for 7. Any triggers, they get a Paraspero. We're going to push that guy back, give plus 2,000 to the Ivankov. Ivankov is now active. We're going to cheat out a Karasu for free. I had to do that now just in case they get some kind of trigger, because I have to make it where they lose the game next turn. That is my goal. Any trigger? Yep, of course, Karasu. If I had not chosen to do it in that order, though, they would have KO'd my Ivankov, and then I wouldn't be able to cheat out the Karasu to begin with. Swing for 10. They use the blocker. Their turn, they have 3 attacks. I have a life, a blocker, and about 4K counter in hand. Okay. They're going to play out the 6 Lin. Okie dokie. So in this situation, I do need to trash 2 cards. This is very unfortunate. Excuse me. I think I can get rid of the Dragon and the Ivankov. Yep, seems good. And now they only can attack with a 7K, an 8K, and an 8K. Let's see what they choose to do. And then I pretty much have to go all in next turn. I pretty much don't have a choice. They're going to swing it for 8, so they only have 7 left. I'm going to take that one. We'll see what they do here. Okay. They're going to swing for 7. We'll give them a 2K, 1K. That's why I couldn't play out the Morley. And they're going to swing for 8. We're going to have to take the block. So now, guys, I don't really... Okay, I guess I technically do have one more option here to play out the Sabo. I can gain... So, guys, that new Sabo can gain 2 life in this situation, but that's not going to help me win this game. I need to win the game on this turn, or there's just too much on the board for me to deal with. I'd rather not deal with that. Okay. Some people might be thinking, like, no, it probably was worth trying, but if they have a 10 Lin, then one of my life cards just go away for free anyway. So we're going in for 7s, guys. We're doing the magic. We're doing some magic number action here. Okay. Let's see what happens. Just waiting on our opponent. 7 into 5. They're thinking pretty long and hard about this. They're thinking pretty long and hard. I think they should probably counter out of this if they can. And they just give up. So, they could not counter out of it. So, let me explain how this would have gone. When they take that, they have to take the hit, right? They don't have a choice. They would get a Capone Gang Beige. At that point, now my plan does change. My plan changes at that point from, okay, now I have to go for the board. In which case, I would attach a Dawn to my my Sabo. I would play out the Sabo from my hand, because that's only 2 Dawn. I still have 8 Dawn left, so I'd have 1 Dawn left for the turn. I would play out the Sabo. That would allow me to gain a life. I think it lets me put the Morley into my life. And then I would push the Sabo back to the top of my life, because it's a trigger, draw 2 cards. And with the rest of my turn, I would be swinging whatever remaining characters were left, whatever card he didn't beige, everything would be going in to the 8-cost Lin, I'm pretty sure. So then I would be up to 2 life, and they would only have 3 attacks. So as long as I can get out of just one of them, and remember, one of my cards that would be in my life would be a Sabo that is a trigger draw 2, then we could have probably gotten out of it. Or the other option, like I said, is... Well, let me see if I could have... So say he shut down my Morley attack. Let's just pretend it was Morley, because they're all 5K. It doesn't matter which one he shuts down. I guess technically it would have been better if he shut down my leader, because I have to attach a Dawn to use his effect. So let's just say that happened. I would swing 5 into the Parasparrow with the other character, and then I would swing 8 into the other... What's her name? The 7-cost Lin. That's like the only chance I had. If he chose to save with the Katakuri in his hand, with the 1K counter in hand, if he chose to save the Parasparrow, then we would go for the Parasparrow again to make sure he only has the 3 attacks, and that would be our best chance at trying to win this game. Okay, and it would come down to a top deck, and we had a Bella Betty, and I don't know what card would have came next. Either way, that was a good game. They gave up a little prematurely there, but hey, it is what it is. I can't really control that. Okay, next game. Purple-Yellow Nico Robin. And by the way, guys, Katakuri is still always going to be a hard matchup for our deck. Like, that never changes. Okay. So the volume is off. Speed is on 2x. We got a game here against Nico Robin. And let's see what happens here. We got to go first, but we did not get a Searcher. That's always unfortunate. 5 and a 5. They should counter out of this. There's no reason to take life this early unless they're running a super trigger-heavy version. Okay, just waiting on the Nico Robin. They take it. Any trigger. No trigger. Seems good. We'll play out the 3-cost blocker. Your turn. That blocker is actually very nice against Nico Robin because she has Banish, right? That card is actually very, very solid. They play out a Clover to do a top 3 search. They find a 2K counter Nico Olvia. They play out the Nico Olvia, giving their leader plus 3,000. They're expending way too many resources. They should have just swung for 9 this turn. I don't understand anything about that play. Because, yes, those cards do have utility, the Olvia and the Professor Clover. But this is not it, in my opinion. This is not the utility I think they should have. Because they played out 2K counters from hand to swing for 1,000 more than they could have normally swung for that turn. We play out the Ivankov. We get a Karasu from that. They play out the Nico Robin, the 6 cost. Very annoying. That card's very powerful. Trashing my top life card. And now they're going to swing in for, looks like 6. We might give him a 2K counter here. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Okay, 2K counter. Yep, I like that. And here we go. In this situation here, I really like playing out the Koala. We'll take our bottom life card, and then we will play out a card from our hand. That's a Revo Army character with 5,000 power or less. I'm going to attach it onto the leader, swing 6 into 4, and probably 6 more into 4 here. They take it. Okay, okie dokie. Sounds good to me. Waiting for any triggers. Okay, 6 more into 4. They should 2K 1K out of this, guys, but at the same time, they've used 2Ks from their hand. They use a 0 cost 3K. That works very good. That works out very nicely. I have 2 life, and I have 2 blockers. I don't have a ton of counter power. I have 3 1Ks in hand, but that's not the end of the world. Okay, Yamato. That's another good reason to take life pretty aggressively against this deck. They pop my 3 cost blocker. They're going to swing for 6. We're not going to give it to them for something that cheap. There's no reason to. And now we can block because they have no other follow-up play they can do this turn. And here we go. What would you guys do in this situation? Would you go for lethal or would you go for the board? Like, personally, I think I should go for the board here. But I'm going to go for face. It's going to be swing 7, swing 6, swing 6, swing 6, swing 9. But triggers, man. Like you guys saw in that last game, that Katakuri left way too early. Playing out that... Like when he, if he would have taken that hit, which he was going to, getting a beige, goodness gracious, guys. Beige is so brutal. So they take the hit. That's a bad sign for them because I have so many more attacks still coming in. So it'll actually be, it was 7, 6, 6, 8, 9 is what it will be for. Okay, push this guy back. They play out the Joy Bonney with a Nico Robin effect. I don't think that, maybe this guy's a new player just trying the deck out for the first time. Okay. Frankie, they play that out to draw a card. It's like, okay, but are you going to survive this 9K? Okay, 2K, 2K, and that was it. That's all they had left. GG. Like I said, that might have been a newer player. Sometimes you can tell with how they're playing cards out. Like playing out these 1-cost 2K counters. Just swing 9 next time. It would have done the exact same thing. I'd have gave you the blocker, and you still have 2K counters in hand. Okay, let's keep going. We got a game versus... Is this another... Okay, this is another game versus Nico Robin. Not the same game. Okay, speed 2x. This one's a fast game, I think. Okay, we go Bella Betty, get a 2K counter. We'll see what happens here. They pass. They don't have any turn 1 play. Swing 5. Play out the Karasu. Your turn. 4 Dawn turn for them. Let's see what they choose to do. Going turn 1 Bella Betty feels so good, guys. So swing for 9. I just take it. I go ahead and take it. Sure. Play out Karasu. We are gonna go absolutely brutal here. 5 at life, 5 at life. That hurts, guys. This early on, there's a 2K, there's another 2K, and now it's like, okay, do you want to attack my blocker? Because it'd probably be smart, because I'm going to attack with him next turn anyway. They play on Nico Robin to get rid of my life. Right here, they should attack my blocker. It is the correct play. They do that. Do they choose to ramp? Let's see. Seeing if they want to ramp or not. I don't think they chose to ramp. And then I'm going to 2K. I think I should 2K 1K. Yep, so no ramp, and there we go. Well, now, another Karasu. And guys, this is going to get ugly. This will definitely get ugly. Swinging for 7, swinging for 6. We'll push this guy back. We'll swing for 6, and they just leave. They have 1,000. They have 2K counter in hand. Nothing coming out of their life there. That was a desperate situation. That was a very quick game. All right, next game. I like the quick games. I do like those quick games. I think we're about halfway done now, guys. Okay, full screen, 2x speed. I'm going to take a sip of my water. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, we're back. So they're going to start off with a Beppo. I've been seeing people mess around with this Beppo card to keep on the extra aggro. It is a 2K counter that says whenever once per turn when you return a Dawn card, you can give your leader plus 2,000, I think, or something like that, or plus 1,000. We're about to find out. Excuse me. Yeah, plus 1,000. I would rather just be a 2K counter in hand. I just don't think it's practical enough. That was desperate. They're swinging for 2 with that card just to hope that I swing into it. It's like, well, then I get this trigger and I'm just going to remove it for free. Play out this card. We're going to play out the Karasu. So Emporio Ivankov, cheating out Karasu. I'll swing 5 into it just to let him have it. Seems good. But now, guys, do you see my board? That is some very rapid production that we just showed off right there from the deck. We had nothing on the board, right? We took a hit, it gave us a Lindbergh, and then we played out a 5-cost 6K, they gave us a 3-cost 4K blocker as well. So the amount of tempo we were able to just generate is something you should not overlook. That's all I'm going to say. They're actually probably scared to attack right now. If I get another trigger, this is just like probably game over. Okay, we get a Bella Betty. They swing for 5. We'll give them a 1K. They swung with their blocker. I don't understand that. Okay, well, I have a Lindbergh on the board. I don't know if this guy understands what that card does, but that Nami, not happening. So we pop the Nami with the Lindbergh, swing 7 into 5. Let's see if he wants to give us any counter power for it, because I will gladly take the counter power, right? Very smart. They let it go. We're going to go Karasu into face here. We're going to swing for 6. Oh, yeah, I think I know what's going to happen next. I think we go 6 and 6 more. Very, very brutal here. Very brutal. Okay. I might choose to save the blocker. We'll see what happens. Swing for 6. They did give me a 2K, 1K. And let's see. They're going to take this one. Trigger. They did get the top 5 search trigger. But 6 more coming in. And I knew it was I think it was like a 9-cost card with no counter. I don't know if it was Luffy or not Luffy. I think it was 9-Lin. But what are they supposed to do here, right? Like that's the question. Okay, if you want to play out the 9-cost card, you're not even going to get to swing into my board. 5 and a 6, sure. It bounces. Yeah, he's coming to the same conclusion. So I think like the best bet he could have done there, even though he made a mistake, is probably play out the Sanji to tap down my Karasu. Then he could swing 5 into the Karasu and just start swinging into my board in that way. But it's... I mean, if whatever he does not get rid of, I'm just going to, like, win the game next turn, right? Like, if he does not get rid of all my characters, if he swings 5 into my Karasu, I'm going to 1K counter out of that, right? Because I have a 1K, a 1K, a 2K, and a 2K, and then he'll only have a 7K and a 7K left that he can swing with. So, choose wisely. What do you want to do with it? Or, excuse me, I think he could go probably 6, 7, 7, or 5, 7, 8. He has a few different options. I'm getting out of at least 2 of them. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm getting out of at least 2 attacks, and then I'm going to be swinging in for everything into face next turn, or even potentially just eating up the board. I could just keep gobbling this board up, because I do have a koala in my hand, so I could grab the card for my life, cheat it into play, buff my board, sit behind 2 blockers. This is a very good position to be in. Okay, next up we got a game versus Red Purple Luffy. Now, guys, Red Purple Luffy is no joke. Okay, Red Purple Luffy is much better than it used to be. Not that it was ever bad or anything, but in OP09, you get some pretty good tools, some pretty good new toys to play with. Okay, we're going to play out the Morley there. We can't swing. They're going to swing for 7. We take it. We'll trash card from hand, and we'll cheat out the Lindbergh. Plays out a Zoro-Juro. I can KO the Zoro-Juro, but do I care? Like, that's really the actual question here. I would rather continue my production outward. I'd rather continue to produce wide here. Yeah, I'm going to play out the Ivankov. Notice I had my hand on the koala. I was ready to play it, but now look at my board. Okay, it's turn 3 for him. Like, I just had my turn 3. He's going to have his turn 3. Next turn, I'm going to be smashing in with everything. He swings in for 6. We get the 2K counter. We take the next hit. He's going to play out the 5-cost queen. And this is a disaster for my opponent, to be honest. Like, this is a really bad position to be in. Oh, it doesn't get much better than that top deck either for this situation. Okay, so that's going to allow us to drop the Zoro down by 1,000. Swing 7 at face, popping the Zoro. Okay. Now we can just push that card back with the leader effect, buffing another character. Let's see what we want to buff. This guy sounds good. We'll swing for 6. every one of these hits is going to force a card out of hand or a card from life or a blocker. So, okay, he takes that. We're going to cheat this card out, put that back. We're at 3 life. Your turn. We're at 3 life. We're at 3 life. We don't have much counter power in hand, to be fair, but we do have a dragon. We just have so much we can do here. And what all is he going to get to take out? 6 into 5. Okay, I think we're actually going to take that and not play it out because we have no room on the board. We're going to take that as well. Plays out a Trafalgar Law. We didn't have enough cards in hand to use the effect. And here we go. So at this point of the game, okay, how do I say this? I have a Fire Fist in hand, right? So I can very easily get through this queen. However, I think I need to do some attacking first to see if he wants to give me the other blocker first. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do. I'm trying to do a little bit of math right now. Bear with me, guys. Swing for 7 into 6. I'm taking all this man's 2K counters. There's a 2K. There's a 2K. Sure. All right, now we're going to Fire Fist that. We are going to push a card back to life. Let's see which one we choose. Push. Okay, I was going to say I was going to attach 2 to the Lindbergh, but I think I did it the correct way there. He should probably take this. He just gives up. So I think he gave up because I don't know why, actually, to be honest. I think he gave up because he figured he was going to have nothing and then he could not win on the next turn. And that is true, right? So next turn, the way it would go, because right here, the rest of my turn, I don't think he realizes I was done attacking after 2 more attacks, which were both going to be his 1K counters in hand, because it was going to be swing for 6 into face, swing for 6 into face, and then swing for 5 into the Nami. Just get it off the board for whatever reason. And then with 3 Dawn left, I'm going to play out a Koala. I mean, excuse me, not Koala. Karasu. I wasn't even ready to go for lethal, but either way, excuse me. Either way, I don't think it matters, because since I'm at 2 life, if he even saved the Trafalgar Law, which he could have done, if he saves Trafalgar Law and swings 5 with that first, I can just 1K counter out of that. Then he swings for 6 with his Luffy. I can take that hit. Then he gets an extra turn. He swings with Luffy. I'm just going to block it. And then I take the final hit from his 10 cost, the other Luffy. And then I should be able to clean up on the next turn in that way. So, either way, very good game. That was a very fun one. Okay, next up we got a game versus Purple Kaido. This was a pretty good game. This was actually a very good game, if I remember correctly. Okay, so volume is off. Speed is on 2x. And, yep, here we go. Let me take one more sip of my water, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. So we dump out the Morley. They dump out a Bentham. So right here, I'm like, okay, should I actually... So there was an idea there to go for the 2-cost guy, the Kuma, to pop this Boncray Bentham. I don't think it was necessary. I could have done it for sure, but I didn't. Okay, they play out a Captain Kidd. They're going to swing for 7. They choose not to swing with the Boncray. That's a mistake. Well, it's not necessarily a mistake, but it is going to make me try to get rid of it here. Okay, we'll go -1 there. We're going to swing for 7, popping the Bentham. 7 into face here. He's going to take it. Okay. We will swing for 6. He's going to 2K counter out. We're going to swing for 7. He's going to 2K 1K. We've got him down to 4 cards in hand, guys. We're back up to 3 life. He's going to use the Kaido to pop the Karasu. Very, very solid. 10 into 7. 11 into 7. We're going to have to let that go. Now, in this situation right here, I think we have to do a setup turn right here. We have to do a little bit of setup. I'm really debating playing out the Fire Fist to go for the 9-cost Kaido. And they were very smart not to attack enemy. Because if they had, I could have gone -7, right? -4 with the Fire Fist, -2 with the Koala, to just drop this Kaido down to 3 and just swing 7 at face with a Lindbergh and take him out in that way. Okay. So we're going to swing in for 6. Blocking, give me a 1K. Very, very solid. Very good play there. Very nice. And now what are they going to do? They're going to bunker up. They're going to block her up here. Swing in for 8. Okay, but I do want to get that, right? Like, I actually want to get that card into play. I'm going to trash a 2K counter to get it into play here. I could choose to use a blocker, but I'm greedy, right? No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, guys, that was probably a good idea to use a blocker there, because this is against Kaido. He could have just dropped my... He could have gotten rid of my life there if he wanted to. Probably wouldn't have been a great play because he'd have no Dawn on the following turn, and I can always just gain a life. Okay, so right here, we've got some stuff going on. We have to do this in a very particular way. Minus 4,000 to the Kaido. We'll swing 7 into 5. Very wisely, just takes it. Just says, all right, you can have the Kaido. I'm not giving you all my blockers or my whole hand to save it. That was a very smart opponent here. He knows how Red Yellow Sabo works. He knows. Okay, so we swing in for 7 there. He gives me a 0 cost 3K. We'll swing in for 7 here. We got a play lined up for him. Guys. We're going to play out the Koala. Minus 3 there. Push this guy back. We're going to swing in, pop that. Let's see if he wants to give us anything, like with the Queen. Block, 2K counter. Very nice. Well played. Okay, now, he is going to play out another Kaido, popping my blocker, 10 into 5. He's gone. Oh, man, this is looking ugly, guys. This is looking ugly. So, we play out another Koala. And so part of me was thinking maybe I should go for the Kaido. There was definitely an argument to do that. But at the same time, it's like, well, wait a minute. If I push this card back to my life, talking about the Lindbergh, I can go super aggressive here and basically put him on a 1-turn clock because of this other Koala on the board. And my trigger cards, obviously. Okay, so here we go. We are going to swing for 7. And then I think we're going to swing for 8. Or 9. Okay, can he get out of this? He might be able to get out of this, but then what do you do? 2K, 2K, 1K. He does get out of it. Very nice. However, after that, he does not have 9 Dawn this turn. He has 6 Dawn. I have 3 life, so even if he attacks me and I take it, and then he trashes my life card and attacks me with the other 9-cost Kaido and take it, it just doesn't matter. There's no way to survive the crackback. That was a really good game. Look at the next card in their deck, guys. It was a 10-cost Kaido. I love that card. I think that card is so good. All right, next game, we got a game versus Red Green Chopper. This was an odd game. This was a very peculiar game, I have to say. Okay, how are we doing on time? Not too bad. Not too bad. These videos do run long with the Red Yellow Sabo stuff. So we're swinging in for 5, playing out the Morley. I love going turn 2 Morley. So the curve with this deck, guys, like I said earlier, is turn 1 Belo Betty, turn 2 Morley, turn 3 Ivankov. It is so nice. It is such a nice curve. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it is a real treat. Okay, so he swung for 5 there, and I gave him 1K counter. 5 into 3, he's going to let that go very wisely. Play out a Morley, cheating out play out an Ivankov, cheating out a Morley, and I'm not swinging. Hey, if you want to swing first, be my guest. He swings for 5. We're going to get a trigger here. We're going to trash a card. I trashed the Ivankov. I really did not want to do that. That card, Ivankov is so strong in this deck, guys. But I had to do it. He plays out the Chopper. So in this situation here, I think my opponent has a bit of a misplay. Pause. What they should do in this situation is use their leader effect to attach a Dawn to their Hiking Bear, their Kureha, and their other Chopper, but I don't think they choose to do that. See, they just swing for 5. Okay, well, now I can counter out potentially, and I think I might because this is a very aggressive deck. I'm like, okay, you have 3 Dawn left. What are you about? Is he about to play out a... Is he about to load up 3 on Kureha, or is he about to play out a Zoro? What is he trying to do here? Plays out a Tony Chopper, and nothing else with it. So again, I think he should have just swung for 5 there and used the card on the board, the Kureha on the board, because then he'd have an extra 1K counter in hand. Galaxy Wink, 7 into 5, popping the Chopper because I reduced his power by 1. That was a little 2-for-1 combo there, guys. So powerful. And it's really a 3-for-1 because now I can push it back to life. We swung 5 into 3. They let it go. We're going to swing in here. 7 at 5. We're going to swing in here. 7. 2K 1K or 2K 2K. Swing for 7. This should go through. And we're going to play out a blocker. Your turn. Now, in all fairness, I don't have any... oh, Hody Jones. Okay, not good. Less than ideal. Less than ideal. However, they do pretty much have to win this turn, right? They pretty much have to win this turn now. But they can't. I don't think it's possible. Or I guess they don't have to win this turn, but that definitely should be the goal. Yeah, I think they should just eat up the board too. That's another option, but they don't know I have a rush card in my hand. Okay, here we go. 5 and a 5. Seems good. They're going to swing 8 into 7 here. Yep, and he goes through. They left 1 Dawn active, so I know they have either a Rad Beam or the event Shut Up and Come With Us. I swing in for 8. Let's see what they do. They have 1 Dawn left. I think they use the event here, the Shut Up and Come With Us event. Yep, they do that. They play out the Tony Chopper, and I don't think they play anything else after that, and then they might just take this, and then we swing in for 9, and I think they actually get out of this, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 2, 2, and 1. All right, I'm going to push this card back to life then. So now every single attack has to get through for them, and this is what I knew, like, okay, they're a pretty new player, because I think they should have won this game right here. So, pause, let's talk about it. What I would have done here is I would have swung for 5 with the Tony Chopper first. That will get my last card out of hand. However, they have a Hobson or Dobson or whatever the card's name is in hand. So what they could have done is immediately replaced the Tony Chopper with the 3-cost Chopper with Dobson. And now my card's out of my hand and they still have 5 fresh attacks and 3 Dawn to use with the leader's effect. And they could literally go, okay, 1 Dawn to each of these 3 guys. And he knows what my top 2 cards are. It is a Dragon and a Lindbergh. So I think this guy, like I said, I think he was just a newer player and didn't quite understand how to do this. But he should have absolutely won the game right here. And it would have punished me if he knew that. Because I should have actually gone for the board. I shouldn't have gone for a game when I did. There was no reason to. Okay, so 5 and a 6. Like I said, I already knew that was coming. One of these was going to be a 5, but I think it should have been that card right there that you just swung with. I think he should have swung with the 3-cost Tony Chopper, the 3-cost 5K. And then gone from there. But doing it in that way was good as well. So he knows I have no counter in hand, right? So he only has to swing for 5 with his leader. Okay? Just swing for 5 with leader. Yep, or swing 5 with that, whatever. I'm not going to use that. Obviously, I'm going to save the 1K counter in hand. He only has 3 attacks left. I'm like, okay, I could be in a lot of trouble here. But again, watch. He plays out the Robson. I said Hobson, Dobson. No, it's Robson. I was off every time. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm pretty much toast. I'm pretty much toast right here. I don't think I can make it. I need a Karasu out of life or some 2K counters. The 3-cost Karasu. Okay, that's not going to help. They swing for 6. Okay, so now they're going to have a 7K and an 8K attack. So I get out of that one, and that should be game. So he basically kind of threw, like I said, he kind of just threw. Swings in for 7, we get the 1K counter. Swing in there, we get a 2K counter. So we probably would have been fine no matter what. Who knows? Maybe he couldn't have won that. I'm not going to do all the math on it. I just know that I would have done that in a very, very different way. And it would have been eating cards out of his hand every single time. And like, all right, we're going to try. We're going to try to do the math right now, guys. Let's go back to the beginning of this turn. This is the beginning of the turn, right? He has 10 Dawn. So in this situation right here, and remember, we know there's a Robson in his hand. So what I would do here is I swing for 5 with Tony Chopper, not use the effect. Or if you could use the effect, replace the Tony Chopper with the effect. Maybe. There's just no point. Don't use the effect. Okay, we swing it for 5. I would 1K counter out of this because I don't know what he has. And if I can get out of one of these attacks, I feel like I've won the game in my mind. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I think I'm going to win. So he swings for 5, gets my 1K counter out of my hand, plays out the Robson for 3, uses the leader effect to attach a Dawn to all of the Tony Choppers left on the board, and for free. That's done with the leader effect. Now he can swing for 5 with the Tony Chopper, with any of these 5 or any of these 3 Tony Chopper characters. It'll go through. Then he can swing for 6 with the Robson, right? Because we play that out and we attach 2 to it. So there's still 5 Dawn left for the turn. So swing 6 with Robson. Actually, no, we only have to swing. We swing 5 and it gets the Dragon. Then we swing for 5 more, it gets the Lindbergh. Then we swing for 6 with Robson, and I think it was a Kuma, and then they could just go from there. They might have just not been able to win there because I did have a 2K counter for my final card, so maybe they were just simply like 1 attack shy of being able to win there. I don't know. Hard to tell. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, next game. We got a game versus Black Yellow Luffy. Okay, speed 2x and volume is off. Here we go. Oh, this is a spicy game here, guys. I remember this one from last night. This game was spicy. Gonna play out the Morley. Morley is very strong against Black Yellow Luffy. I mean, they can remove it very easily, but at the same time, if it does not get removed, that card is very, very strong. Okay, playing out the Lindbergh here. Yeah, after this, guys, we got a game versus Blackbeard, and then versus Bonney, and then versus Nami, and then versus Doffy. So we got some pretty good games to end on here. Okay, so playing out the Lindbergh last turn, we get the Koala now. Actually, did we get the Lindbergh? No, I think we played out the Lindbergh. Never mind. So right here, I do swing in for 6 because I know he's going to want to use his effect here with the Luffy. And then I have a follow-up play that I think is going to be pretty decent. Ends up not being insane, but ends up being okay. They use the Monkey D. Luffy character's effect here to remove their last life card and draw a card. They're up to 10 cards in hand or something ridiculous. They're going to trash a card from hand, filling up their life with double Sabos here. Using out the two cost characters to play them out from life. They're going up to 9,000 power. And here we go. Let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to swing for 11. We get a Karasu. We'll take it every time. They swing for 10. We just use the Karasu and we're fine. Now, I've got double Galaxy Wink in hand. Double Galaxy Wink. You better believe I'm considering some options here. You can better believe we're considering some real options here on just swinging for lethal. Now, I do have to gain a life this turn just in case I lose. Gaining a life is of utmost importance here. So we're going to Galaxy Wink, attach 2 to the Karasu. All 4,000 my power went to the Morley. I probably should have done it a little bit. Hang on, pause. I probably should have instead given plus 2,000 to the Karasu with one of the Galaxy Winks just to get that out of the way. But we'll talk about that in a second. I push that card back to life. I'm going to swing 14 into 8 here. He's going to give me 3 2K counters and a 1K. He's down to 4 cards in hand. Last turn, before he did all the stuff he did on the board here, he literally only had, last turn he literally only had like 9 or 10 cards in hand. He's down to 4. 8 into 7, you're not getting that card. There's no way I'm giving him this card. Okay, because that card can swing through blockers. For those who might not understand, who might not know what Morley does, the 3-cost card on my side that's rested, it can swing through blockers, which is extremely relevant. Okay, he's going to swing for 11 into it probably here, or excuse me, just 9. 9 into 7. Unfortunately, I'm 1 shy of getting out of this, so I have to give him a blocker. If I did not have to give him the blocker there, I probably could have won on this turn. So right here, we're going to swing for 9 a bunch of times. Okay. He's going to give me a blocker. I'm going to swing for 9 more. Okay. This should give me the card on top of his life there. All right. Just waiting on him. Very good. We'll push that card back. We're going to go 9 more at life. And then I think he's able to get out of this. But it's going to cost him like pretty much every card in hand. 2K, 1K. I'm back up to 3 life. He has 1 card in hand. 2 after the draw. And I actually have a pretty decent hand size, guys. I have a 2K. Actually, excuse me. I only have a 2K. Never mind. I only have a 2K counter in hand. But he has to swing through 4 times. Top 5 search, he does grab an ace, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to trash a card from his hand. He gets a Sabo and an ace. He's going to play out the ace. And right here, he's going to swing 9 into 7. He can have that, obviously. 7, I'm going to have to take that. I am going to play it out because I've done a little bit of math. So hear me out, guys. The reason I was going to play that out, because some people might be thinking like, wait, can't he swing for like 7, 8, 9? And the answer is yes, he could. He could attach 7 right here, or 5, excuse me, to his Sabo and swing for 7. And I technically could have lost right here, but I had to at least bluff him so that I could win on the crackback. All right, here we go. Let's see what he decides to do here. He's going to swing for 8. I'm going to take it. Now I know I can't lose because I can just get out of that attack there. He wasn't going to use that attack anyway, I guess. Okay, swings in there. I take it. We get a Bella Betty. It doesn't matter. It's going to be swing 9, GG. This is just a math win at this point. Good game. All right, that was a fun one. Very spicy game, like I said. I got a little aggressive there, but let me explain why. I think it is very smart to go down to where you and your opponent have 5 or less life for the triggers in this deck. So taking them down to like 3 life if you're down to 2 is fine, or taking them down to 2 life if you stay at 3 life. I think that's a good, a good way to gauge it. There's something I was going to say about this game. Let me see something. Okay, let's analyze this play one more time where I could have potentially gone for lethal. Yeah, it was this turn right here. Right here. Pause. I have 9 Dawn. So what I should have done here is Galaxy Wink on Karasu. So in other words, Karasu is going to go plus 2,000 and then minus 1,000 to the whatever his name is there, the Luffy. At that point, what I should do is swing 7 into Luffy. You understand? Excuse me. Because remember, guys, he's at 8,000. So I can swing 7 into the Luffy, and then I'll give the minus 1,000 to his leader. Not to his character, to his leader. Okay? With the Karasu effect. Then he's probably going to give me a blocker, or maybe he counters out. Who knows? But that would be really good for us because we've only used 1 Dawn so far. Now, with the remaining Dawn, what I would do is give Morley plus 1,000 or plus 2,000 with the other Galaxy Wink and minus 1,000 more to the Luffy. At which point I attach 1 Dawn to my leader. So I've only used 3 Dawn so far. Okay, and I would swing 6 into the Luffy. After which I still have 6 Dawn left for the turn. My Morley's at 7. I can attach the remaining 6 Dawn to the Morley, swing for 13. So, okay, it was roughly about the same. It was actually 1,000 under. But the other way that I said, I think I could have gotten a little bit more of an efficient attack on the whatever his name is there, the Luffy. But, oh well, it is what it is. It ended up working out just fine. All right, next game. So that was against Black Yellow Luffy. Now we got a game versus Blackbeard. If you guys are wondering how well Red Yellow Sabo does against Blackbeard, the answer is pretty well. And there are still modifications to the list we can run. So I'm swing 5 here. Gonna play out the Bella Betty. He does take it, by the way, going down to 4 life. I snag a Kuma and I pop the Luffy. Get it out of here. Get rid of their blockers, or excuse me, their searchers, guys. They have to go. The searchers have to go. They have to. Swing 5 in here. I actually take this aggressively so I can start cheating out characters from my life potentially. 2 into 0. He takes it, draws a card. 5 into 1. He takes it. Play out the Ivankov. He did not use his leader effect. I'm cheating out Akuma. He's going to pop that with a Shigan finger pistol. And now he's going to get rid of my Kuma. This guy is very annoying. He's a very good player. He's doing things correctly. But he should have used his leader effect on that turn for sure. So right here, we're going to play out the Ivankov. We're going to cheat out a character. It's all about getting the tempo, guys. Getting the momentum is so important. So right here, we're going to swing for 6. Take him down to 3. He's just taking all these hits. I'm like, what is going on? In my head, I'm thinking, wait, what on earth is happening? Okay, yeah, you took it, you took it. Sounds good. They play out the Jack. They're going to pop my Karasu here, obviously. That's the only legal target. I guess they could have used Stronger there to try to trash a bigger target, but they just need to get bodies off the board. We take it, we get another attacker, and now this next turn is very funny. Let me just say, this next turn, guys, it's very funny. Okay, so here we go. We will try and do a little bit of math, seeing what I want to do. They did trash a card from their hand to shut down my my leader effect for the turn. And here we go. They probably think I'm going to go for their Jack. If I had a Fire Fist, they'd be correct, but I don't have one. So right here, I don't even have a Koala, and even if I did, I couldn't use the activate or the on play. So swing 7, we'll push this guy back. We'll swing 7 more. I'm like, okay, this guy's trolling me or something, right? Like, surely this guy is trolling me. Watch this, guys. I'm like, all right, I mean, if you say so, if you want to go aggressive, swing 9, swing 10, or swing 9, swing 9. Look at bro's hand. Like what is this? Like, he has a 2K and a 1K in hand, and that's it. And it looks like that card Stronger he got was his last card he got from his life. I don't know what to say, but one thing I can for sure tell you is if I had a hand that looked like this, I would not have trashed a Burgess to, for the leader effect. I would have trashed like one of my 3 Marshall D teaches. Because remember, one of them he probably got from his life. So it's like, yeah, 2 or 3 teaches in hand, just trash one, man, or you're not going to survive anyway. Okay, good game. That was a funny one. That guy was bricked up, but at the same time, we were on the right path to win that regardless. Because if he hadn't taken all those hits, we would have just done things differently. Okay, we got a game versus Jewelry Bonney. All right, best game of today right here. This is one of the best games I think I've ever played in as far as like One Piece goes. This game, we had to go Super Saiyan for this one, guys. Jewelry Bonney is a tough matchup for Red Yellow Sabo. But hey, stay in the game. You do have a chance to win. They play out a baby 5. We pop it with the Kuma after swinging. Unfortunately, that Kuma is not going to go to play because we have 7 Dawn. Or, 8 life between the 2 of us. Swing for 6 and a 5. They rest down the Kuma. I don't care. They're going to play out the Lindbergh here. Or I'm going to play out the Lindbergh here after they take it. And they play out a Cavendish and a baby 5. The Cavendish must go. You cannot, in my opinion, you cannot allow Cavendish to survive if you have the option to remove it. If you can't remove it, it is what it is. So right here, I'm trying to do a little bit of math. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do this while still like surviving? Because he's going to tap down one of my characters or block or my leader. So I'm like, okay, we'll swing 7 into 1. We'll pop that card. He's going to rest down my leader. I only have 3 left for the turn. I'm going to play out the Morley, and I'm not even going to life the Lindbergh. Oh well. So Cavendish, playing out Baby 5, playing out Jewelry Bonney, playing out another Jewelry Bonney, if I remember correctly. They get a top. So with the Baby 5 search, they get a Doflamingo. They're going to swing it for 5. I have to save this. It's not even an option. Okay, this was not the turn they played out the other Bonney. Never mind. Okay, or maybe I'm thinking of a different game. I'm not sure. But one thing I can tell you is this card has to go. Like those 2 searchers must go away. We can't let them just search and search and search or it's over. So we're going to swing 7 into one of them, pop the other. I'm not giving them any life cards, guys. They're going to try and starve us. Why don't we return the favor? Because we can gain life. They can't. 7 into 1. Here we go. They rest down my character. That was the correct play. But the thing that scares me is they get to keep that Cavendish on the board. Oh, well. We're going to do what we have to here. We're going to swing. Yeah, I think I would like to play out the 3-cost blocker Karasu, but it's not the right call. I don't swing in. I don't want to give them any life. I'm like, no, just your turn. Your turn. I need to start getting this hand size down, and I think one of the best ways to deal with Jewelry Bonney is don't even attack. Remember, guys, the game plan for this deck that I'm piloting right now, this Red Yellow Sabo version with all Revo army, just go super wide. That's the entire game plan. Because Jewelry Bonney's effect is not nearly as good when you have 5 characters on the board. It's still good, but it's not nearly as good because you have all these extra options. Okay. Let's see what we have to do here. So the Cavendish is my new target. I'm not going for face, right? Like I have a target on the board now. Now I might go for face by swinging with the Lindbergh. Yeah. But I'm just making sure I have to get rid of that Cavendish. There's no other option. Okay. So we get rid of it. Seems good. Swinging 7 into 5. He'll probably take this. Counters out aggressively. I'm liking that because his hand size is now down to 4. I'm liking that quite a bit. Push this guy back to life. I swing in. He does take that one. Play out the Karasu. My other Karasu's a 7K. He's going to swing in for 6. Now, one thing I do need to mention is we do know that he has a 10-cost Doflamingo. We saw him search it up. We're going to give him the blocker. He only has 9 Dawn left. He's probably going to play... Okay, I was scared he was about to play out another, whatever his name is. Pause. So this is one of the only turns I really have to criticize myself on. I get a little greedy here. I should have played out the Kuma and then swung for 7 with the Lindbergh to pop both Beiges in one go, so he gets no value from them. Just giving you guys a heads up, that does happen this turn here, unfortunately. Like I said, right here, see, I'm even mousing over, like, should I do this? Or I was trying to get cute and go for a play where we take out Basil Hawkins, but you can't do that with 1 Dawn open from Bonney. They can just shut down your attacks. So I swing for 7 and pop a beige. He's going to block that, use the other beige. So I just lost all the value from my Kuma. That was a play mistake. I should have played out the Kuma and popped it in that way. And it's a body on the board as well. So the next best play, what would you guys do here? I'm going 13 into that 11K body. 13 into the 11K. I know one card in his hand's a Doflamingo, so he can only have a 2K and a 1K if he even has that. We'll see what he has. He doesn't have it. We ate up his blocker there. That was a very big deal. I'm not attacking with the 5K Koala now. I'm saving it. Because, I'm trying to the best of my ability play around the Doflamingo. You can only play around it to such an extent. Okay, actually, I wonder if they used the 0 cost 3K to use their Doflamingo. They may or may not have. I'm not sure. Okay, 12 and a 5. We're going to take that, of course. We're going to cheat this guy out. Okay, so the Kuma got value after all. Okay, minus that to there. And now I'm really considering just loading everything up on my Lindbergh and just going straight into the Shanks while popping Cavendish. Let's see what I do here. If it survives, though, it's too scary. It's too scary. Here we go, 13 into 11. Taps down my leader. Beautiful. It got rid of it. They're down to 4 cards left in hand. I've slowed the game down to a grinding halt. There's the Doflamingo. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure they had that. They locked down my board here, and here we go. I get a dragon, finally. Okay. This whole game, by the way, guys, let me explain something. I did definitely have that like minor play mistake there with the Kuma. I do think that was a slight play mistake. Some people might not consider it one because I got to keep the 1K counter in hand or the card to trash with. However, here's the other thing. Where are my 5 cost Ivankovs? Like, Ivankov is a big, big deal in this matchup because she lets me continuously spread the board wide. Where's that card in this game? I just can't find it anywhere. And I was about to say, where are my dragons? Dragon is a big deal in this matchup. But here we go. Okay. Gonna play out the dragon here. I'm for sure playing out dragon, right? Like, that's just happening. And right here, I think I might be in a position where I need to try to win the game here, right? So we'll swing for 5. They gave me a counter. Now, I don't actually have to swing with dragon. So they gave me what I wanted. I just want to I want to keep their hand size low. They gave me that. Now they're going to play out a baby 5. I've gone through like 4 or 5 of these stinking searchers this game, guys. Hey, here comes all the cards I needed, right? They're finally coming. This game probably would not have been nearly as close if I could have just got these cards earlier. We get an Emporio Ivankov. It was very tempting to not play out the 4 cost Ivankov with it, but it's not a big deal. We get the card that cannot be blocked. Now, so they can tap a character down. So I swing for 9 first. I'm saying, so what do you want to do? You want to tap down one of my characters? How would you like to tap down one of my characters? Taps down my leader. This guy, very smart. That was definitely the right play, because guess what would have happened? Any of the characters he tapped down, I would have just thrown it back to life and gave my dragon plus 2,000, and then he wouldn't be able to follow up with a Doflamingo. But now, because all my cards are active, what is Doflamingo going to do for you? Go ahead. I was going to say, I knew it was this game. He had 2 Bonnies down at one time. It was very annoying. But now what? Hey, go ahead and swing at me. Yeah, I'm going to take that gladly. He doesn't swing with the Doflamingo because he knows I have a dragon in hand. And this is what really, this position we're in now is a very good position. 7 into 5. He's going to rest down probably my my character. That was smart. Okay. And now I'm going to play out the dragon, I believe. I think I go ahead and attack into his board here. I think I just get rid of his entire board, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yep, just waiting on myself here. I'm the slowpoke right now, guys. I do have this on 2x speed, right? Yep, it's on 2x speed. I'm just a slowpoke. I attached 2 there. Afterwards, I was like, I definitely should have attached 2 to the koala. We're going to go 4 into 1. We're actually just going to maybe take him down to 0 right here. Push this card back. I push that card back and give dragon plus 2,000. So now he's an 11,000 power body, and I have a 1K counter in hand. So he cannot play out like a Doffy and KO my dragon. So, I don't know. That might not have been the best play in the world, but worked out just fine. Swing for 10. Sure, we'll take it. We'll get the Ivankov. Our turn. We get another dragon. Here comes the cavalry. We're going to swing in for 14 into 5. So notice what I did there. I attached two Dawn straight to the dragon with his effect, And then with the remaining 2 Dawn, because he's only 8, attach 1 to my leader, 1 to my other dragon, push the other dragon back, get the full plus 2,000 power, swing it for 14. Almost. He almost had that. I was going to say, I know this guy's got a Hody Jones or a Zoro in hand. There ain't no way he doesn't have a Hody Jones or a Zoro in hand. Good game. That was a very fun one. That was one of the better games I can remember. Like in recent memory of games I've been in, that was a very fun, very meticulous, hard-fought game. It didn't seem like any player made any big mistakes or anything like that. Just a very good game. Okay. Next up, we got a game versus Nami. Now, let me say this right now, guys. Nami has gotten stronger and stronger. And in OP09, he gets a very strong card we're about to see right here on turn 1. Speed 2x. So they want to go first now. I won the dice roll. I went first. That card right there. That Nami right there. Swings, does a top 5 search for East Blue. So it is literally an East Blue searcher. But they have to attack with it so you get 1 chance to deal with it. And I did not get the 2-cost Kuma. So we're going to swing for 5 here. Maybe not. I'm thinking, you know what? I don't think I want to get his hand size too low and let him start losing cards this early. I'd rather go a little bit wider with the board. They're going to swing for 1. They draw a Gum Gum Giant Gavel. They're going to play out a Kaya, draw 2 trash 2, getting rid of a Desert Spada and an Impel Down All-Stars. And here we go. My turn. Very nice. We're going to play out the Imperial Ivankov. Unfortunately, that was too greedy. It was a whiff. I mean, we got the Bello Betty and we got another Karasu from it, to be fair. But I should have just played out a Karasu. Excuse me. And gone about things from there. He swings 5 into Bello Betty. You can have it. Sanji's PLuffy. He's going to draw 2. But now we're going to literally just start raining down Karasus on this guy's head. Guys, Karasu is one of the absolute best cards against Nami. It might be like the best card in the game versus Nami other than like Pudding or Gion. Swing 5, swing 5, swing this, swing that, swing lots of 5s. He's down to 3 life. He still has, I think he only has like 25 cards left in deck, which is not too bad. Okay, Snake Dance. Yeah, I think it said 24 or 25 cards in hand. He plays out another Nami. I get a Kuma this time. He's not getting to use that card. It's not happening. Okay. And that seems like a waste, and it felt like one, trust me. But I had to do it. We couldn't let him draw that extra card, that extra answer. Swing for 7 into 5 here, into 4. He's going to counter out of it. Well, we got more where that came from, right, guys? Swing for 6. Swing for 5. Swing for 5. Or swing for 6, 6, 5. I was really debating pushing back the Karasu here. Notice what I'm doing. I'm like, no, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Let me wait one more turn to do that. I'll swing for 5 to get one of those cards out of hand. Seems good. Okay, 5 to 5. You're obviously not getting that card. He's going to play out the Kaya. So let's see how much cards he has left in his deck. Plays out another Kaya. Sanji's PLuffy. Kaya. He's down to 14 cards. This is my turn right here, guys. This is my turn to go for lethal, in my opinion. Swinging 8 into 4 with that Karasu. This will take a Love Beam and a 2K counter out of hand. Okay, now we're going to push that card back to life. Give plus 2,000 to this Karasu. Swing 7 into 3. He only has 3 Dawn left, guys. 3 Dawn left. I have bare minimum 3 more attacks. But realistically, I have more than that, right? I could go forward with the Kuma, no problem. So I had a cute play I was going to do here. Pause. Pause. Okay. There was a cute play we were going to do here for 6 Dawn. I was going to play out the Koala to pull the Karasu out of the top of my life and replay it on top of the other Karasu to drop their power down to 2,000. But that would only be the equivalent of like a plus 3,000 power increase, technically speaking, across the board, or maybe plus 4,000 if you count me swinging with the Kuma after that. However, the what should we call it? The Nami or the Koala costs 6, and I'd rather just get the extra 6 Dawn across the board. If he was at over 20 Dawn or cards left in his deck, I would have gone for that play for sure. All right, 7 in here. He's going to get out of that somehow. Seems good. We're coming in for 7 more. Okay. Can he get out of this, guys? We're about to find out. We are about to find out. Takes it. We're coming in for 9. 9 into 3, guys. This will take 3 2K counters and whatever else. He didn't have it. GG, that was a fun one. Even with a pull that crazy, they were like in single-digit cards, guys. Even with the pull as crazy as I just had with Triple Karasu, they were in single-digit cards. Mildly concerning. Mildly concerning, I'm not going to lie. Okay, now, one more game. We got a game versus Blue Doffy. I'm sure everyone was wondering, like, is he going to play against Doffy? It's like the #1 deck in the game right now. You know, it's like one of the most popular. All right, I'm going to mute myself, guys. Give me just a second. Okay. Had to take a quick sip of water. So we're going to swing for 5, swing for 5. We're getting super aggressive here. I want to put the pressure on this guy. That is my goal, is to put pressure on this Doffy player. They're going to go Jinbei plus Boa. Right here, they should swing into my... Let's see if they choose to respect my Bello Betty or not. They do. Which I think was probably wise, but it's not as important as it is in Bello Betty. Top 5 search here, or top 3 search for the Ivankov. We play out the Lindbergh. I'm not a huge fan of the 4-cost Ivankov in this deck. In Bello Betty, that card is cracked, right? The card is cracked in Bello Betty. But not in this deck, not as much. It's not bad, it's just not as good. Attach 2, swing for 7. They're going to play out a Jinbei for sure. We were 1 life away. Right, 3, 7, never mind. We were 2 life away from being able to play out that Kuma. I will say, guys, so this is, he's playing out a Trafalgar Law. He's going to bounce, maybe bounces back the Jinbei or the Trafalgar Law. I'm not sure. I will say that those new trigger clauses for red-yellow, or for the yellow Revo Army cards, they feel terrible. Like, just being completely honest, guys, they feel so horrible. Because, okay, why can't I get that card in play? I had to put the card in my deck, and the stipulation is so extreme. It's like, why can't it be like if I have 3 or less life or something? I don't know. Maybe that'd be too strong, because then it would just always work. But yeah, isn't that the point, right? Or at least give me the option to trash a card to play it. Just anything for me to get tempo is all I'm asking for. The card was printed. Excuse me. The card was printed in a certain way, I guess, to avoid that. But no, I want to be able to get my trigger cards, right? That's what I want. So, oh well. All right, so they pulled back the Trafalgar Law. I do not agree with that. I think they should have pulled back the Jinbei, because now I have a target on the board to attack. Going to play out the Ivankov, because that card is just absolutely cracked. It's so good in this deck. We'll swing 6 into 4, then we'll swing 7 into 4, see what they want to give me. Okay. They're really thinking about this. I don't think it's worth saving. In fact, if they wanted to save it so bad, again, why didn't they just pull it back with the 4-cost Law? I don't understand. So 7 into 5, they'll probably give me a block and a 2K counter here, because I have no more attacks I can do. Or maybe they just take it. They just take it. Seems good. Now, nice. Now my trigger effect is turned on. Now my new Revo Army yellow trigger clause is active, where I can start getting those cards into play, like Karasu, Kuma. Let me pause real quick. And the 3-cost Bello Betty, the 3-cost Lindbergh I'm not running, but cards like that. So check out this Sabo over here, guys. I don't think we've seen it hit play one time, and I will say, there are 3 cards that are on the chopping block, and we're going to talk about it more when we get to the end of the video. Unfortunately, this card's one of them. When I first saw this card, when you read the card, I'm going to read the card and then we'll talk about it. 7 cost, 7,000 power, 1K counter. Everything is good right there. 7 cost is actually very important, because it can't be hit by Jozu or Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. 7,000 power, extremely important. That goes with my leader effect, like with Red Yellow Sabo. 1,000 counter, you know, obviously that's good. It has a trigger to draw 2 cards. It's Revo Army. I think it should have been Revo Army plus Dressrosa, but I understand they probably did that for lore or balance reasons, whatever, who knows. On play, place up to 1 Revo Army type character card from your hand on the top of your life face up. Then if you have 2 or more life, put the top or bottom card of your life into your hand. Okay, well that seems really good. I'm about to play it right here, by the way. Or I think on next turn, I think I play it. What that means is I can pull a card from my life and then put a card on top of my life where it can have a trigger. So it seems like there's no downside to this card, right? And by the way, one more other trick you can do. Notice his effect is then if you have 2 or more life, put the top or bottom card of your life into your hand. So if you have 0 life, you can play this card out, put a card into your life. You don't have to lose a card from your life now, so you gain a life. And then with your leader effect, if you have one more Dawn, you can push him to the top of your life to trigger draw 2 cards. So, like, the card seems like it has no downside, except I never find a reason to play it. And it's so tilting because this card has infinite potential. Like, it seems like this card is just perfectly built for Red Yellow Sabo. Except here's the problem. I don't want to play this card out on curve. Like, I want to go Bello Betty Morley into Ivankov, but that's it. That's as far as I want to go. After I hit Ivankov, I'm done. Now I want to start cashing in on my value on the board, and if I don't, I start falling behind. And that's just the way that the game works right now. That's just the pacing. Who knows? If the game slows down or against slower matchups, then maybe this effect is insane. Like against Nami, well, no, even against Nami, it's really not that great, right? It doesn't matter. So, I don't know. Long story short, here's all I'm trying to say. I don't think this card is bad. It just doesn't make sense with what we're trying to do, unfortunately. Even though it makes all the sense in the world, somehow it also doesn't make any sense. All right, end rant. I had to tell you guys about that card. We'll talk more about it at the end of the video as well. Okay, so right here, I've got 3 of this card in my hand. I'm like, oh, this is all 1K counters. Like, how sad is that? A card that was made for Red Yellow Sabo, the 7-cost 7K character, the 1K counter and a trigger draw 2. It was made for Red Yellow Sabo, and it is absolutely horrendous in this deck. It's not horrendous, I shouldn't say that, but man, it just feels so lackluster. I'm not trying to complain, it just feels so lackluster. All right, so this guy keeps trying to like do a combo thing. What he doesn't realize though, pause, him pushing back those cards to my hand. Remember guys, I was able to cheat that Lindbergh out with my Ivankov. So him pushing the card back to my hand isn't doing anything. It's just giving me a new 1K counter. I guess it does slow me down a little bit, but I'm not upset about that. All right, here we go. They still have their blocker they can swing with. They played out the Gecko and the Jinbei for the turn. Remember, the Jinbei played out the 4-cost Law, which bounced itself back, and then bounced my 4-cost Lindbergh back. Chooses not to swing, probably very wise because I was going to get rid of that Boa Hancock. And here we go. Time to start swinging. I think I'm going to play out the 7-cost Sabo, guys. I forced myself to play out the 7-cost Sabo this turn, if I'm not mistaken. So swing 6, swing 6, swing 7. We are really beating our opponent up now. Okay, maybe block 2K counter. Who knows? They let it go. We'll take it. Okay. Now we're going to play out the Sabo. I'm going to grab the bottom card of my deck. Ends up being a Karasu, by the way. Unfortunate. Yeah, another unfortunate thing about the card. We don't get to see what we're pulling out. So it's like, okay, that actually hurt me more than anything. I guess it gave me some tempo, to be fair. But it's like, man, I actually would have really liked that Karasu to be my bottom life card. All right, I'm done belly aching. I'm so upset that this card that was made for my favorite deck turned out the way it did. Who knows? Maybe I just need to get better at playing the card. Very possible. Okay, they're swinging 5. 5. Guess what they're trying to play? I'm like, oh, okay, I see. I'm going to play this out. Guess what they're trying to play? It's a 10-cost card. I'll let you guys guess. Made me very happy when they decided to play it. Okay, now they're going to swing for 5 and then 6. Okay, actually, no, it's not this turn. I gave you guys a spoiler. That's coming up. Okay, let's see what happens here. They're going to play out the Boa. They're setting their top 3 cards. They're deep in the tank here. Attach a Dawn to their leader. Play out another Boa. Attach another Dawn for free to their leader. And this might seem like, oh man, his board's getting really stacked. But it's like, yeah, but that board's about to be gone, right? Like, there's no way they're going to be able to save all these cards from all these attacks. Okay, so they almost swung with their other Boa, the one that can attack this turn. They pulled back on that because they realized how dire the situation is. 8 into 6, they choose not to use the leader effect here. I'm going to go 2K, 1K. We'll go boom, boom, 2K, 1K. And they're going to swing for 7 more into face or this. Okay. Pause. So if they had swung for face with the leader effect, I would have taken that and gone to 1. And then if they had swung 7 into my face with that, it would have been 8 into face with the leader effect, and then 7 into face with the Boa. I would have 2K, 1K countered out and gone down to 1 life, and then I would just devour this board like I'm about to do right here. Love to see that card, guys. That card I always want to see, man. Unless I just need a counter or something. That Emporio Ivankov is so good. Okay, 7 into 5. Let's see what they want to do. Uh-oh. They let that go pretty freely, guys. They let that go pretty freely. And now I have a draw 2 on top of my deck. Swing 8 into 6. They let it go. This just doesn't look good for my opponent here, guys. It just doesn't look good. We'll swing 7 into 5. They let that go. Unfortunately, I don't have a Koala or a Fire Fist in hand. That would be insane right here. Okay. Just waiting on my opponent. Swinging in for 5 here. I'm expecting them to use a boa, and I was going to attack the boa, but they chose not to, very wisely. Okay, now we're going to go 5 cost, 3 cost here. We'll play out the Karasu. Okay. I kind of did that off, guys. I kind of messed that up, to be honest. I could have gotten way more value out of that, but I think I blundered it a little bit. Not a big deal. Okay, so we're just not going to play these out. We have 2 1K counters in hand. We're just going to leave it like that. And I think this is the turn, guys. If I'm not mistaken, this is the turn where he goes 5, 6, 6. Oh, nope. Not getting that card, bro. You got to choose wisely here. Look at this. He pulls back on this attack and then swings with the Doffy. He's really starting to think about this like, man, this is not good. This is like a really bad position to be in. He's correct. I let that go. He's going to swing 6 into 6. I'm going to counter out of that one. And that's that, guys. Here comes the big boy. Like I said, I kind of spoiled it. 10 cost Kaido. He's going to go from 3 cards in hand up to 7. Or I guess 4 down to 3 up to 7. 8 into 8. And guys, from here, it just doesn't get any better for him. It just doesn't get any better, you know. It's just going to be a lot of 8Ks. How is he supposed to get out of these attacks? Unless he just drew 6 2K counters, that's probably going to be it, guys. We'll go 12 into 4. Okay, here's the sad part. He did not get out of it even after dropping the Kaido. But not just that. If he didn't get out of it, or say he did get out of it and he had 2 cards left in hand, it was going to be swing 6, and he's a 4K leader. Like, it's just insurmountable at that point, guys. It's so brutal. It's so much to deal with. All right, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Was that the last one? Yep, that was the last one. I think next week we're going to be diving, or excuse me, tomorrow we're probably going to be diving into a pre-release guide. But guys, so here's the list I was running. Let me show you. So here's the list. I'm going to remove the leader. So, pause and read this if you don't know what it does. Removing the leader so that way we can see everything on the screen here. So, hear me out. First, let me bring up all the Revo cards. There is one more card that I would like to add to the list at some point if we ever get access to it. It is the, excuse me. It is this promo 2K counter, Sabo. This card is a 5 cost, 5,000 power 2K counter, which is extremely relevant for what we're trying to do. I would probably only run it as a 2 of, but I really need this. Like, 4 koalas, I love this, and this new Kuma is outstanding. Even though you guys didn't really see it do anything too crazy, it's still a 2K counter, and it's 5,000 power. Why does that matter? Because, like I told you guys, number one, it's good for this card, but I don't even care about this card anymore. Right? This is not a card I'm trying to build around anymore. In fact, if I were able to, if I had these two Sabos, I would just trash both of these right now and go up these 2 Sabos. Because of this card right here. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Play up to 1 Revo Army type character card with power 5,000 or less. Then put the rest on the bottom in any order. This card and this are just a match made in heaven, right? Now, all right. Let me. We're gonna go through this whole list, guys. We're gonna go through the whole list. I'm running 2 Emporio Ivankov, the 4 cost, 4 Karasu, the 4 cost, 4 Koala, the 2 cost, 2 of the 2 cost Kumas. There's so many repeats, guys. I have to say which ones are what their cost is. 4 of the Searcher, Bello Betty, 3 Morleys, or 4 Morleys, 4 Lindberghs, the 4 cost, 4 of the 5 cost Ivankov. This card's the whole deck. Okay, guys. This card is basically the entire deck. I am doing a top, when I mulligan, that's the card I'm going for. And if I can't get this card, if I get a Bello Betty, I'll probably settle for that as well. That's fine. This is the card we're going for, though, because of the tempo that it gives us. Being able to play this out, do a top 3 search, and then cheat out like a Lindbergh, a Morley, a Karasu, or potentially a Sabo, like I was saying, even this Kuma. Because if they don't deal with the Kuma, I'm going to push it into life, and then I'm going to potentially get a trigger from it next turn. So 4 of this card, 2 Dragon. This card came in clutch every time it came up. 4 of the 3 cost Karasu, 3 of the 6-cost koalas, 3 Sabos. We're going to talk about more about this in a minute. 4 of the 4-cost 2K counter Kumas, 2 of the 3-cost Bello Bettys, not the search or the draw one, and then 2 Fire Fist and 2 Galaxy Wink. So, some people might be wondering why you're not running this card. Well, first of all, it is a promo card that I have almost no access to. It's the same reason I wasn't really running this one. And I don't know if I even care about this card. I'm just being honest. Like, this card doesn't really matter to me. I think it's a strong card, especially when we didn't have a lot of other options. But now we actually have decent options. Like, let me just say, guys, there are cards I had to cut to make this list work. Like, I wanted to run 4 Bello Bettys. I was considering trying this card out. Pause and read if you don't know what it does. I want to run 4 Karasus. I just don't have the space in it, right? Or excuse me, I was able to run 4 of these, but I had to go down to 2 Bello Bettys. The 4 Kumas are a must. 3 Sabos, 3 Koalas. I just don't have enough room in the deck. And then there's always going to be an argument to, like, maybe mess around with max, raise max like Bello Betty does. I also want to try to mess around with this card as well, the Flame Dragon King. Now that I have, you guys heard me complaining about it in the video. The new trigger clause for Revo Army in OP09 is trigger if your leader has the Revo Army type and the total of your life and your opponent's is 5 or less. That's when you can play the card. So early on, I kind of want to have the Flame Dragon King, especially if I'm going second, where it's like turn 1, if I don't have my Bello Betty Searcher, maybe I have a Flame Dragon King. And then I can sit back on this and chill and arrange my top cards and make it where, you know, Karasu's my last card, maybe Bello Betty's my second, or, you know, you get my point, whatever I need. So this card, I do want to try to fit into the deck. I do want to make this work. I think it has a lot of place, and I think it can do very well. This Lucy card is interesting, believe it or not. It's Revo Army, but I'm probably not going to make this one work. It's a 6-cost 7K. If it had a 1K counter, I would actually really consider this card. Because on my even curve, when I don't see Emporio Ivankov, it'd be nice to like have this in the deck as like a 1 or a 2 of, to just drop this down. Because it has a when attacking once per turn, put the top or bottom card of your life into your hand, and then rest up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or less characters. Then if your life is 1 or less, place the top card of your deck on top of your life. So it can potentially not just cycle you life, but also gain you life. However, Koala probably fits in the same spot. Going forward, that might be something I mess around with, where maybe I go down like 1 Koala, because I'm running 3, go down 1 Koala and maybe go up 1 Lucy. Koala, this card, you have to force yourself to use it, guys. At least I do. I have to force myself to use this card, and that's not something you want to hear someone say, right? Like, that's never something you want to hear someone say. But it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. You are losing a life anytime you play this card. Now, yes, you're going to take that life card, and then you're going to play a card out from your hand and draw a card. So, you know, while you are playing this card out and losing a life, you're basically drawing 2 cards, right? Excuse me. Let me explain it like one more time like this. For 6 Dawn, you're playing out a 6,000 power blocker, drawing a card from your life, so that negated the loss of cards from hand, right? Then you're playing out a card from your hand, cheating another body onto the board, and drawing a card from your deck. So even though you're going 2 cards onto the board, you're getting the 2 cards back. It's just one's from your life, the other's from your deck. From the deck, it doesn't matter as much, right? But from life hurts, it can. And we can even gain life with our leader, but you can't just gain life every turn sometimes. Hopefully you guys see that. I think some people, might watch these games and get a false impression. Sometimes you can gain life, but it's at the cost of like completely neutering your turn, where your turn becomes so much weaker. This is another promo that's worth considering. If you have 4 or less cards in your hand, this character gains plus 2,000 power from Dawn times 1. I think this card's probably really solid in Bello Betty, but I don't think it's as good in like Sabo, because I'm trying to get my hand size up. Like with that Koala card we just talked about, with this Sabo card, I'm trying to keep my hand size pretty strong. However, in Bello Betty, you're trashing cards like crazy, and I think this card would be a little bit better in there. It does have a 1K counter as well. Okay, what else do we got to talk about, guys? I don't want to finish right there because I do have a lot of stuff to talk about still. When it comes to the events, we did talk about Flaming Dragon King. I'm not a huge fan of this one. Don't underestimate a miracle. It's a 1-cost trigger, or excuse me, 1-cost counter. Give up to one of your leaders or characters plus 2,000 power during this battle. So it's like, well, wait a minute. Why wouldn't I just run a 2K counter here? And the entire reason not to run a 2K counter is the trigger alone. Play up to one character card with a Revolutionary Army type and a cost of 4 less from your hand. It's just to... if this was a 1 cost 3K, which is what it should have been in my opinion, then I would absolutely use this card. Or I'd at least consider it. Maybe run as like a 2 or a 3 of. But like, I don't understand why this could not be a 1 cost 3K. Right? Like, why couldn't this be a 1 cost 3K counter? I don't understand. Who knows? You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Dragon came in clutch pretty much every time I saw him, but I'm still going to keep him as a 2 of, because I don't want him early in the game. I want him later in the game. So I did really like that. Now, some additions I'm really considering adding to the list here that are not Revo Army. Actually, let me wrap up on Revo Army, because I was going to talk about all the events. Sorry, guys, I almost completely forgot. So, Emporio Tension Hormone. I do not like this card. It is too easily telegraphed. If someone sees you have 3 Dawn open, they know what you're doing. Revo Army decks need all of the Dawn. They need all of their Dawn every turn, pretty much. There might be a few exceptions, but you always need some Dawn. So if they see 3 Dawn active, they're going to be like, okay, okay, buddy, I see what you're doing there. Okay, Fire Fist is incredible. That's why I run as a 2 of. This card allows me to hit a 7K with my Lindbergh. I think this card is absolutely cracked. Brickfist, I have not messed with. It is a 2 cost main. During this turn, up to one of your leader or characters gains plus 2,000 power. Then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 power or less. It just doesn't do anything for us, right? This card just does not do anything. And then trigger up to one of your leader or characters gains plus 1,000 power for the turn. That's okay. The trigger's all right. But I think that effect is just absolutely nothing for what we're trying to do. Galaxy Wink we're running. This is actually a 1 cost 3,000 power difference, right? Like for 1 Dawn, you're getting the effect of 3 Dawn, and it is in a very beneficial way to Red Yellow Sabo. Because remember, guys, with Red Yellow Sabo, we are trying to get a character to 7,000 power, but we're also trying to build our entire deck around 5,000 power characters. So Galaxy Wink gives our guy plus 2,000 and gives their guy minus 1,000, and then the trigger does the same thing, and it is for the turn. So we can give up to one of their characters minus 1,000 and one of our characters plus 2,000. Unfortunately, the activate main is not character or leader. I wish it was. Because then, like, the trigger would be so insane. It would actually be so nice. Some people would say it's broken, but I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be. Who knows? Maybe it would be. There's only one way to find out. They're going to have to give us one. No, I'm just kidding. Then Dragon's Breath. Again, I cannot stand these little tiny KO effects. I just don't like them. Okay, 2 cost main, KO up to one of your opponent's power, 3,000 or less characters, and up to one of your opponent's 1 cost or lower stage cards. The stage removal is nice. I'm not going to lie. That stage removal, big fan of that. But that second part is just absolutely... It's almost completely worthless, right? It's not literally worthless. I'm not trying to complain too much. But it's like, well, wait a minute. You're telling me I have to combo this with my Fire Fist? Well, if that's the case now, I want to try and go with Lindbergh that pops something that's 2,000 power or less. But I guess that does pop 3,000. I don't know. Maybe this one's better than I thought. I will give it a try at some point, I'm sure. But there's only so much room in the deck for events. And my top 3 events, currently, we're going to look at Keep Out in a minute. But my top 3 events in all of Revo Army right now is Fire Fist, Galaxy Wink, and Flaming Dragon King. Those are my top 3, and I can't even fit all those in, Then we have Keep Out. This is another 1 cost 2K counter. I don't understand. Give up 1 cost 2K counter. Just like this one. Look at this. 1 cost 2K counter. 1 cost, where'd it go? 1 cost 2K counter. And then the trigger activates this card's main counter effect. I am just not a fan of that. Why couldn't it have been a 1 cost 3K? I don't understand. You can't even give it to your leader, by the way. You can't even give this effect to your leader. It can only go to a character. This is just like a power nerfed card for absolutely no reason. I don't understand. Again, same thing with this one. It just doesn't make sense to me. Especially on your opponent's turn. Giving your character plus 2,000. What is that going to do? They just attack again into it? I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe it is better than I think. maybe like some testing will try it, because it probably does save your character for the turn. But I would literally rather have a 1 cost plus 3,000 power battle for the battle effect, not for your turn. Same with this one. Well, this one is for the battle. This one, anyway. Okay, moving on. So that's what I think about the stages. We are going to talk about the 7 cost Luffy, Sabo one more time, and then we're going to move on to other cards I think should be up for consideration to add to this version of the deck. This card, like I said already, it seems like there is no downside when actually there's almost no upside to run it. That's the weird part. It's almost like the card is too fair. If I play this out on turn, what would it be? Turn 4? Yeah. Turn 4, 1, 3, 5, 7, or 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. If I slam this card down on turn 4, it does absolutely nothing. Right? This card, like, actually doesn't do anything. It's just, and it's not even, like, overstated. It's a 7 cost 7K. It's fine. Those stats are fine. 7,000 being, like, the best part about it. Being a 1K counter in hand, being a trigger. So you see, excuse me, this card is almost better off in your hand or in your life. And that's like the part that's kind of frustrating. It does have one niche application where if you have 0 life left, you can play this card out to gain a life from a card from your hand and then add this card to your life for like a little one-stop shop, gain 2 life. That is the absolute best part about this card. But is it enough to warrant running the card? Unfortunately, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't think so. And like I said, there's just not enough upside to run the card and to just slam it down on turn 4. Like, the only way you're slamming this down on turn 4 is if you're just running your opponent over, where it doesn't matter what you play there. And that's sad. And at that point, this card is only worth the 1K counter and the trigger and the searchable type for Bello Betty. But remember, guys, with Bello Betty, we're not trying to search this card up. This is not a card we're trying to search up. Bello Betty is trying to search up this card like 9 times out of 10, and then later in the game, this is a 1K counter. So, like, Bello Betty is trying to fix our 3-5 curve. Like, here's our 1 curve, right? Our 1-3-5 curve. Here's our 1. Bello Betty is trying to grab our 5, priority number 1, and then our 3, something like Karasu or Bello Betty, the 3 call. Wait, excuse me. It can't even grab Bello Betty. That's very annoying. Anyway. It could grab the Karasu or the Morley, and that's pretty much it for what we're trying to do for the curve. Now, if we went second, it has way more targets. It could grab the Karasu, the 2K counter Kuma just doubles over, or the Lindbergh on top of the 3 cost characters as well. But what I'm trying to say is Bello Betty's not trying to search up Sabo. It's trying to search up very specific pieces that are not Sabo. Same thing with Koala. So okay, I've already kind of hammered this one home. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying with this. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. But then going over to Koala, this card too, man. So, okay, when am I ever trying to lose life like this? And the answer is only against Nami or when I'm already winning the game. So it becomes like kind of like this win more card. But here's the sad part about this one is I would rather run the Koala because it's a blocker over the Sabo. That might be crazy to some people, but guys, the fact that this is a blocker and allows me to drop my life down consistently while cheating out a character, that I really like, and it helps me into Nami, which is one of the harder matchups for us. It's one of the harder matchups in the game right now is Nami. So this Koala being able to drop down and just start pulling cards out of life, dropping our life count down, getting us access to more cards, and cheating a card out, this card I'm not really upset about. I'm not too upset about this one. Yes, Sabo does technically do something similar, but Sabo is not cheating a character into play. It's making it where we can put a character on top of our life that can be cheated out into play if our opponent doesn't play around it. So, yeah. So that's about it, guys, as far as like what I think for Red, Yellow, Sabo Revo Army list. Now, let me just drop down 1 Sabo and 1 Koala, and I'm going to drop down both Emporio Ivankovs. So I've got 4 spots open in the deck. Those are the cards that immediately hit the chopping block for me. Kuma was nice. This had a lot of utility. It helps me eat up the really annoying little blocker cards, right? Or not blockers, like, well, yeah, blockers too, but like the little like searchers and things like that. This card was fine. And unfortunately, this card is undertuned. It should hit a 3,000 power character for sure. Like, it should not be hitting a 2,000 power character. It should be hitting a 3,000 power character, and then it would be literally perfect. But I don't know. Maybe that's me being greedy. I just think it should be able to do that. Because that way you'd always be able to combo like this little card right here with a Fire Fist to pop a 7. And I think that's actually relevant and not broken because it's a 2-card combo that gets rid of a 7,000 power character for 4 Dawn, 2 cards, 2 triggers, a 1k counter, and you're left with a 2,000 power body that you can't even put back in your life because it has to be cost 3 or more. So that's unfortunate that this card is not like that. Even if they had to make it into a 3-cost character, right? Like that would probably made it a little bit more fair. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, this card, outstanding. Now, as far as like new additions go, let me go. So with Blackbeard being as strong as it's going to be in OP09, there is definitely a conversation that needs to be had around Luffy. I think this card can go in the deck as maybe as a 2 or 3 of. Dragon staying in as a 2 of, I think. This card just never really let me down in all the games I played. And running it as a 2 of it meant that I never had too many of them in my hand where I was bricked up. So maybe running 2 or maybe 3 of Luffy. Probably 3 of Luffy because this is searchable and this card is not. And at the same time, this card is much easier for us to play out earlier on. So I'm thinking about going up to 3 of these in the deck. We'll have to see. Now, Portgosti Ace does fall off a little bit in OP09 because guess what? He doesn't have Rush if they turn off on play effects. So in other words, against Blackbeard, this card doesn't actually help you as much as you'd think because he doesn't get Rush against Blackbeard. Now, the reason I want Luffy as opposed to something like Kid and Killer is because this card is unblockable. So if I'm on a 10 Dawn turn, I only need 9 Dawn, right? Because I need 1 Dawn on my leader to push this character back into my life. So I can just swing for... Actually, let's just do... let's do 2 Dawn on leader. And then... So that way we can just swing 7 with leader. Play this card out for 5. We still have 3 Dawn left. Swing for 9, unblockable. So swing 7, swing 9. Put it back to life. Your turn. So I can kind of create this infinite loop where they're going to run out of gas eventually. Right? Like with the Blackbeard engine, they're going to run out of gas eventually. And all before that, we're spreading as wide as we can on the board like our normal strategy would let us do. So... this is a card I definitely want to include. Now, let's go to all the OP09 stuff real quick. There are some other options as well. Technically, you could run Goldie Roger in the place of, like, maybe just run a single Goldie Roger in the place of, like, Luffy or something. That's definitely an option. Because, hey, if you get him down to 0 life, and they're going to start taking life cards aggressively at that point, now you might be able to punch through for lethal. Okay. Ben Beckman is the other card we really have to consider as Sabo players. Red, Yellow, Sabo. This card is better than this card. It's just better. The only thing that this card has, there's only one actual aspect about this card that is better than Ben Beckman, and it is the trigger that says draw 2 cards. But let me ask you guys this. In the game we just watched, or in all the games we just watched, when did that ever come up for me? I never needed to draw 2 to stay in the game. The only game it would have came up was against the one game that I arguably would have probably lost, and it was against the Katakuri if my opponent had not rage quit when I did things the way I did. I mean, who knows? Maybe they DC'd. You never know what happens in these online games. But that's the only time that this card might have come in clutch to gain me a life. That's it. That was it. And I'm starting to think about that one. Could I have still tried to go for lethal and it would have just been tough? I'm not sure. I can't remember. We're going to bring that game up real quick, guys. We're actually going to bring that game up. I want to see at the very end of that Katakuri game. Okay. We're analyzing this real quick, guys. We're going to go to the very end. Okay, so right here is where he quits. Let me, whoop, I did not mean to hit 30. I meant to hit 2x speed. I just double-clicked. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so I swing for 7. Let's see what happens here. Pause. So in this situation right here, I actually think I still could have won, potentially. If they do have to make one mistake, though. There's one mistake they would have had to make right here, and it was to use the beige on one of my characters. Like, for example, say they use the beige on my Ivankov or something like that, then I can actually smash through for lethal, right? Like, I can actually still smash through for lethal. Because say they shut down my Ivankov and I swing for 7 more on Morley, then they'll get the trigger for the Nami and pop my Ivankov, and then I can smash everything through with my with my Sabo. But whatever the case is, like I said, they rage quit. That it is what it is. But here's the thing. What I'm trying to say is this. If I had Ben Beckman in my hand instead of the Sabo in this position, let me see when I had the Sabo. Let me hit play real quick, guys. Did I get it for the turn? I literally got it for the turn. Okay, so I will say this. In this one situation, if I was trying to play a little bit safer, the best bet for me would have absolutely been the play where I just go, okay, swing 5 into your, swing 5 into Parasparrow, 5 into Parasparrow. He's going to let it go eventually, right? Then I could attach 1 Dawn to this guy and play out the Sabo, putting the Morley into my life, and then gaining a life, right, by pushing the Sabo to the top, and give plus 2,000 to the Ivankov, and put the remaining Dawn on the Ivankov to swing for 9 into the into whatever her name is, the 7-cost Linlin. So that would have been the safest bet that I could have gone, and it actually would have won me the game, like, almost for sure, right? Because whenever they go to swing in at that point, number one, I don't hit the beige trigger, and number two, like, their board's gone. They have a 5-cost and a 6-cost, and if they play out the 7-cost Linlin at that point, I'm saying you can have it, right? But I'd have the 2 life to survive, and even if they start eating up my board a little bit, as soon as they do finally hit my Sabo, I'm going to get to draw 2 cards. Okay, so we will at least give Sabo some credit where it's due. Sure, this card is actually extremely solid in, like, the situation where you have to gain 1 life. So I will say that. We will call it what it is. But other than in that one situation, guys, I mean, I think Ben Beckman might just be a better call there, at which point we go up to 4 of them. Like, I think we just drop both Sabos and we go up 4 Ben Beckmans. It's not Revo Army, which feels weird, but at the same time, I do think, excuse me, I do think it would be actually very beneficial for the deck. So that's the first card I want to talk about, and there's 2 others. The next one is this card right here, Nico Robin. I love this card, guys. I'm a huge fan of this card, Nico Robin, because of what it allows us to do, right? Like, it lets us trash their top life card when they have 3 or less life cards. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I wasn't really being that aggressive in most of the games because I always value board over, you know, going for life. But I still need to keep some pressure on their life, right? I still need to hit their life a little bit, and this card allows me to do that in a very strong way. And the thing is, I actually have like 2 relevant targets in this deck that I could cheat out with the trigger on play effect, which would be the Karasu and the Bello Betty. And here's the thing. Let me just say it like this. So let's just say we're not really feeling Koala. So just hear me out for a second, guys. Let me just get rid of that card. Let me get rid of this card, and we have 10 spots to play with. Imagine what we could do with those 10 spots. Like, watch this, guys. Here's just like a quick brainstorming session with it. Imagine we go up 2 Robins. Wait, do we have exactly 10? I want to see something real quick. 10. No, we have 8 spots. Excuse me. We have 8 spots because our leader's missing. That's why it says 42 of 51. So these are like 8 spots to consider right away. 2 Nico Robin, 2 Ben Beckman, and then the other cards I wanted to talk about. Okay, I do want to talk about this guy and even potentially like these 2 guys, but hang on, let me come back to that. Let me bring up 3-cost, the yellow Jory Bonney card. Jory Bonney, and then Nami. Okay, so like imagine there is a nice side version of the deck that's going on here where, like, okay, we're actually going up in triggers, which is really nice. We're going up in removal in the form of Nami and Ben Beckman. And we're getting ways to trash their life. And we're getting ways to draw 2, trash 1, increase our hand size. This is kind of what I was saying. I've mentioned this before in a previous video where I was saying that I really kind of want to make it where, like, there's a hybrid red-yellow Sabo deck. Let me see what I might have called it. Hang on, I think it's... If I can't find it, guys, you'll have to just, we'll have to look at it later. No, what did I call it? It was like red, yellow, Sabo combo. 9 Rev Go. This was the one. So this is kind of like something I was messing with, But here's the thing, like this ace package would be gone. But notice in this one, I'm not running the Beckmans, but it's running the Bonney, Nami, Robin package. And then, like I said, like I would include Ben Beckman. And then I would also like to include the card we were just looking at. I think that'd be a great addition to the deck in Luffy. Like, so I guess that's what I'm trying to say, guys. I think there's like 10 cards that I want to venture out and branch off to grab that are not Revo Army. But at the same time, I honestly think they will benefit our deck in ways that we will not regret adding to the list. And that would all be from just removing... Let me get back to it. I call this one RYS Pure Revo. So that would come from us just removing 3 Koalas, 3 Sabos. We'll see. And then I needed to clear up 4 more spots. That's where it gets tricky, guys. That's where it does get tricky. Because, like, naturally what we'd want to get rid of in that case is, like, getting rid of a dragon and getting rid of the Galaxy Wings. This is what makes it tough, guys. Hey, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to figure out, right? It was like, what's the best way to run this deck? You guys tell me what y'all think real quick in the comment section below, if you don't mind. Do you guys think we should venture off into that, like, 10-card side package? So we'll make a 40-card Revo deck, right? So 80% Revo, and then 20% side utility package. What do you guys think? Judging by what you saw in today's video, we're not running the control deck, so please don't get confused like, oh, well, the control deck runs this. No, we're not talking about that version. That's a whole different version. In that version, yes, we are going full in with Nami's. We're going full in with Ben Beckman's. That's going to probably be probably next week's video. I'll probably go over the control version of Red Yellow Sabo that I want to run in OP09. But for the Revo Army focused version, do we really need this Sabo? Do we really need this Koala? Excuse me. How have these cards been in your testing? How has Koala been in your testing? How has Sabo been in your testing? Yeah, that's basically all I'm trying to ask, right? That's literally all I'm asking. That's what I'm saying. I think we're on to something very close. I think we're really close to something here, guys. I think we're on to something special. We're very close, but we're just not quite there yet. So the last cards I did want to talk about from OP09, I do at least want to go over them. I do think Kuzan is a cool idea, but this might have to wait till OP10. Because hear me out, guys. So turn 2, let's say we're going second. 4 cost 5k, 1k counter, seems good. On play, place one of your opponent's cost 3 or lower characters on the top of their life, face up. And then your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. So you're going at 4 cost 5k, bouncing their searcher up to their life, increasing their life, by the way, which is relevant. We'll increase their life, and then we will make them trash a card from hand, and we have a 4 cost 5k on the board. Then, going to turn, to your 6th on turn, you're going to have your Nico Robin. So you're trashing another card from their life, potentially. Or you might even have, there's other options as well. Let me say that for the 6 cost spot. And even for, I will even say this for like the 5 cost spot with Gadatsu. Because if you're increasing their life, excuse me, like all of a sudden going Kuzan into Gadatsu is just hitting anything in the game, right? Like, and you got a 4 cost 5k and a 5 cost 6k. And both these characters have 1k counters. So there will be some ideas to mess around with that as well. Hey, let me go OP. There we go. But yeah, there could be something there. And then one other idea that I've been messing with is like, what if we go a life gain version of Red Yellow Sabo, or excuse me, a power increase version of Red Yellow Sabo? Because we already have the power decrease. What if we combo that with the power increase? A little bit of a yin-yang thing going on there. Not sure, might not work, but the options we have currently would be 5 cost Yasop, and then of course the 9 cost Newgate. Oh, by the way, going down the line with that Gadatsu thing I was talking about, think about it. If you're going second, 4 Dawn, you play out that Kuzan, life one of their cards, so they gain life, and you make them trash card. 6 Dawn turn, you pop something with the Gadatsu, and then 6, 8 Dawn would be the one turn that's a little bit like you're going to have to maybe Karasu, life another one of their cards on tempo, and then on 10 Dawn, drop Yamato. They have 2 extra life this game from the stuff we just said, and start trashing things in that way and gaining life along the way, whatever you have to do. I think there could be something there. But anyway, 9 Dawn with the power increase version for the leader, running like 4 Yasops and 4 Newgates could be kind of interesting. I don't know if it'll be good or not, but there might be something there, something for us to mess with. All right, I'm done rambling, guys. This is a 2 hour and 15-minute long video. All right, we're done. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. All right, big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, guys. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing, I really, really appreciate it. It felt good going over this Red Yellow Sabo video today, guys. I feel like I haven't talked about Red Yellow Sabo in so long. And like I was saying earlier, I think in tomorrow's video, we're probably going to be doing a sealed guide, a OP09 sealed guide for people who are trying to play on this Friday, because I think that's when the first pre-release events fire off. Okay. Big shout out to the VV Pirates playmat supporters, everybody over here who bought a mat. Thank you guys so much. Hope you are enjoying those playmats. And then, of course, last but not least, the patrons over here. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel the ways you do. The VV Pirates patron page here, people just donating to the cause, keeping the dream alive, and all that good stuff. All right, I'm done. Hope you all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to ask down in the comment section. And, yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.